Welcome to another episode of The Bastard Sermon. I'm one of your three hosts, Cody Hucker.
Patrick, the Big Cheese, Seta.
And Luke Young, I guess.
It gets more bizarre every single week. What's the Big Cheese, Patrick?
You see my hat?
It is.
Okay.
I'm the Big Cheese.
I'm not
And
perceptive.
I want to be called the Big Cheese from now on. So if you remember that, make sure to do that.
It's not happening.
That's never going to happen.
Just call
Patrick.
me
not happening.
the
Let
Big
you know
Cheese from now on.
No one looks sillier than when they try to give themselves a nickname.
Look, man.
And you look real silly
Look
right
like a
now
fool
trying to give
right
yourself
now.
a nickname.
These guys
And I
are
wanna
wearing
be
our own
called the
merch
Big
right
Cheese.
now.
Because it's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, check our shirts out. You can buy them. Hit up Patrick. Hit him with all the messages. Come talk to him for a little while.
He likes...
Interrupt him during dinner.
You know, he does like when you come around dinner time, and he likes a good 50-minute conversation. Just a long one in his driveway. You know, where he's trying to wrap it up real fast. You could tell he's got like, well, I should be getting inside energy. Just keep that conversation rolling.
Yeah. When you see me cringe, it's just my excitement of talking.
Don't
Don't
read
read
them
more
all.
people.
I'm familiar with that feeling right there. I'm
Are
very
you?
familiar with that feeling. Oh, yeah, all the time.
And that voice, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the
get
bizarre
into it.
intro, is Chris Siemer. Give it up, boys! Thank you, dude. Thank you for
guys.
joining us.
Oh, please, my pleasure.
Yeah.
You're a Cincinnati comedian for our listeners that aren't familiar with you.
Yes,
And we're going to get to know a little about you. But
All right.
you were getting into some shit.
Yeah,
just now
you're
about-
used to selling merch and just knowing like the grind of people talking to you for like 45 minutes.
Is there every time that you're selling a T-shirt, is there somebody outside trying to talk to you for way too fucking long when you're just
Man.
trying to leave?
Like,
I've
I'm
only
cool with
tried
it.
I've only tried to sell T-shirts for a little bit, and it is, first of all, the worst process. Trying to push merch is it hurts, man. 'Cause you're like, man, I really could use your help here. it's like, I mean, can I get a couple of dollars for the bus? That kind of thing. Because it's a stupid shirt I'm trying to sell, man. It's just a tank top that says "Sun's out, side boobs showing." It goes along with the joke I tell during my act.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember the first time I was trying to sell them at the club, Go Bananas. I was working and I was middling for a great comedian, Nick Griffin. This guy's a veteran.
I just saw him on Conan, right?
He's fantastic. He's fantastic. Yeah, I'm sure you did. And we were talking about, the first show was really great, and we were talking in the green room about trying to sell merchandise. He's like, well, sometimes you take that shirt up there and the set don't go so well, and then you still got to try and pitch the shirt.
Yeah, you're sitting up there looking like a dick. All your jokes fell on their face. But
So 40 minutes later, I go up there to the late show, and it didn't go nearly as well. And I was just like, what the hell just happened? 'Cause the first show, roof about came off, and then that one, I had the damn shirt up there. And I took it with me. I didn't even say anything about the stupid shirt.
what else can you do? I mean, I wouldn't stand there like
Take
an
the L,
asshole.
man.
Like,
I mean,
wanna buy
that's
my
kind of the
shirt?
process. Like music, for example, I've played some awful shows,
Sure.
and then I'm sitting there at the merch booth in shame while people try to come up and be like, "Oh, it was okay, man." And, thanks,
I was
dude.
trying to give you some redeeming quality.
Yeah, like,
All right, I appreciate
was like,
that.
"Thanks, man." Yeah, whatever. Buy something or leave.
And also the other aspect of it is just asking all your friends and family to buy your shit with your dumb podcast. Not like, oh, this is a bastard sermon. Like,
I
that's what you're doing with your life now. Like, oh, okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's cool. I hope that's working out for you. Yeah, I got $20 for your dumb shirt.
I ended up giving a lot of them away.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, but those people wear them still. I got some of the bartenders down in Mount Lookout Square wearing them behind the bar. That's cool.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking awesome. And
Yeah,
free
that's not bad.
advertising, too.
Well, yeah, it was free on both ends, so that's good for.
Speaking of shirts, sorry, we have to mercilessly plug this shit
it.
because if we're gonna spend money on it, we gotta fucking talk about it.
gotta
But
talk about it.
these designs, thanks to every single person in our podcast group that bought these shirts, that's really helped us. And you guys actually afforded us to go get a bunch of new designs. I don't know how many exactly from Danny Babcock, that bad motherfucker. We handed him a chunk
That
of
guy.
change from the proceeds from all the shit that you guys have been buying, and now we're gonna have badass cool designs by one of the best artists in all of Cincinnati. That shouts
In the
out-
Midwest.
in the Midwest.
He,
yeah.
congratulations,
world.
by the
Big-
way.
yeah, big
He
effort.
just won Battle for the City.
Chicago.
In Chicago.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
That
went up to
was
Chicago.
incredible, man. Congratulations.
to go do
truly.
a mural. He's doing a spray paint mural in a city that isn't his own in fucking Chicago, the
Yeah.
land of Shepherd Ferry and all the great,
Yeah.
like a shitload of great street artists and street kids and the baddest motherfuckers in all the Midwest.
And he shot him the fuck down.
And he
Yeah.
won. And
Did you see the
unfortunately,
designs?
Yeah,
They were fantastic.
incredible.
I mean, his was amazing. I mean, they were all really, really stellar. I mean, even he said it could have gone a lot of ways. He didn't think he was going to get it, but
Check him out on
My eye
Instagram
saw
at
it.
Danny
Yeah.
Gamble.
Higher level art, free shouts outs, Danny Gamble. You always get them, my
Yep.
dude. You're a fucking awesome artist. I can't wait to see what you come up with. And I brought him a hat. That hat that my girlfriend got me with the fucking bastard sermon thing on top. I was like, hey, let me just pay you to put the bastard sermon on the bill. And he's like, I'll just do that. And I'm like, I'm for sure paying you for this. He's like, whatever. But like, he was so fucking cool about it.
He's just
gonna.
that. He's just that cool.
I cannot-
We all of us together.
What's that?
He's the one that introduced us.
Yeah. He threw us in a group chat the same way that he did with Ran, and that worked perfectly. And I was like, immediately, I was like, whoever Danny Gamble's sending me, for sure, let's book him right now because it's gonna be great. Yeah, he threw me and you into a chat, and he was like, all right, you do comedy, you do podcasts, meet. And it was like, when do you want to come the fuck on? Because I knew you were gonna be quality.
Super
ASAP,
quick.
baby. ASAP.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much for joining the show.
No problem, man.
Really
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
it, dude. So you did Brew-HaHa recently?
Just did Brew-HaHa. That was last weekend down at Sawyer Point.
How did that go over for
Really
you?
well. I mean, that's already a hard situation doing stand-up comedy outside, when
Right.
the sun's still up. Sometimes for some of
Right.
these folks, it's already setting you up for some failure in a lot of ways. It goes against how stand-up kind of works, right? Keep that energy kind of going, bouncing off the walls. But the audiences this year were just fantastic. I really can't say enough about it.
So-
All the comics were really good. And Cincinnati this year especially, maybe more than ever in the past, Cincinnati comedy really shined. Really shined.
That's awesome, man. Who all was up there? What were the standouts that you got to see?
Well, I mean, the big names that come in from out of town, we got Chad Daniels, Kevin Bozeman. Those guys are just second to none.
Right.
The main stage was, I can't remember now. The main stage was, the first night was Preacher Lawson from America's Got Talent. Second night was Jay Moore from Hollywood.
Fucking everything.
You ever
Being
seen
Anthony
Jerry
back in
Maguire?
the day,
Yeah.
if you ever listen to that.
Jerry Maguire.
Bob Sugar and Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was that, and then all the other people are just, the folks doing the side stages, right? That tunnel stage is really magical, though. But
Isn't that where you got to perform? I thought I saw some pictures of you in the tunnel stage.
that if you saw one from me on the tunnel stage, it would have been years ago. I've
Okay.
been there a couple of years. I did the stage by the White Claw booth, which is just fine for me.
So
Good sights here.
in your opinion, out of the group of local comedians that you're all friends with, that we've also had on the show with Jay and Rand, who do you think had the best set? Obviously,
Who's the
except
funnier
for you.
guy? Who's the funnier
Who
comic?
did you think
Who's
brought
funnier?
it
What
the
are you guys
hardest
setting him
to
up for
Brew-HaHa?
right now? Like, tell
Well,
who's
I was just asking.
for sure he's got to say himself.
No, I didn't get to see Jay go this year. Jay Jay and I go way back to like my first day. Like we've been friends since day one. That man and I have been on the road quite a bit. We used to do all kinds of cool shows together. So
Such a great guy.
he is, and that guy and brilliant too. That
Yeah.
dude, I'm sure he had great sets. I didn't see it, but I know he did. Rand, I missed as well because I was up a little bit later and I had to work that day. He had to do the club, I think, the one night doing the kitchen there.
The way that, because we had Rand and Jay on right before to plug Brew-HaHa that they were coming on or whatever.
Oh, they
the
were all
fuck.
together.
Yeah,
okay, I see.
we brought them both together, and they were talking about how it was coming up and shit like that, and the people can get just wildly fucking drunk and stuff like that.
It used to be that way. I mean, I'm 7 years into this stuff, so I'm a little less wild than I was then, and I just can't do it anymore, But I think everybody kind of behaved themselves this year. No one got overly drunk. People got wasted, I'm sure.
Right, but no problems really. You didn't
Not
have
this
anybody
year.
throwing up on each other and throwing
Not
bottles
that
and
I
shit.
saw. Not that I saw.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
It sounds like it went the best possible way.
I
that it
didn't
could've
stick
gone.
around to the after parties until they were closed either. I want to get back home and call it a night.
You've been keeping it sober, is what you were saying, even on fucking Labor Day.
No, man.
You just mean you're not having like 12 drinks, right?
No, on Monday, on Labor Day, I just drank some waters. I think I had a half a beer, and I was like, this is not going
Not
well.
today.
Not today, friends.
Not today.
Yeah, no. But I drank heavily all weekend, so I think it was due for, a day just to dry out, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, I
But
feel
when
like
I said that, you were like, so you're like so totally sober, and I was like, no, I went and had a White Claw earlier. That was yesterday. I just need one day to kind of reset the clock. Look at me, I'm vibrant. My skin looks fantastic.
Yeah, dude.
Yesterday I didn't look so good.
I hear that.
a little jittery over there. I'm just kidding. I'm just
Yesterday my fingers were just shaking throughout most of the day.
I'm a mess most of the
man.
week. I'm so fucking sad that the Brew-HaHa thing also, like, I can't ever go and see any of the cool shit that happens on the weekends because you work the service industry. You just
That's when you're busy.
you're working as a cook. You got to work the weekends. I don't get any time off to do that. I got to like make special plans. Like it was like I'm gonna take off to see Bargatze and fucking.
Oh, that's good.
But then I found out Attell was coming, so I was like, I got fucking. But they're right next to each other, so I can't get both.
I don't even know if I knew that Attell was coming.
He'll be in October, yeah,
Oh,
at the Liberty Funny Bone. So I was like, I gotta go fucking see Attell for sure. Like,
I'm
I've
definitely
never
going to
got
that.
to see that dude.
I'm definitely going to that then.
Yeah, he's one of my comedy heroes
Same.
and shit like that.
Same.
It's like
I mean,
Attell,
yeah.
Stanhope, like dudes like that.
Right before I ever knew I wanted to do stand up. I mean, I loved it as a kid. I think the first guy I listened to was on a tape was probably like Robin Williams, and he was great. My dad, I think, played some like Steve Martin and Bill Cosby for me when I was a kid.
Right.
One of those aged pretty okay. But then like. I didn't watch it at all. You know, when you're watching like Comedy Central back there, Attell had the Insomniac show. It's just like, this guy is so
that's
fun.
right.
So fun.
The Gong Show for a little while or whatever.
I don't think I ever saw him on that. But
My dad showed me the first time I saw Attell. I think my dad would always show me super inappropriate shit when I was way too young to see it.
Good.
He had a 30-minute fucking HBO one night stand.
Oh, yeah.
Where he still kind of got hair or whatever.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
an old
like,
one.
Whoa, that's
I
weird.
forgot about that one.
He's talking about like how the Dolphins. I can't remember the because all of Dave Attell's jokes are like one-liners basically that he's. I don't know. He was talking about something about Flipper.
You're butchering it.
I'm doing a horrible job remembering what this joke was. The punchline though went something like, "I could smell him on your flipper hole," and he was making like dolphin noises and shit. And I remember hearing that and falling on the ground like pissing myself laughing. And I was like, "This is one of those dudes that I'm gonna keep up with forever." And then he showed me Skanks for the Memories and just fell in love with all that shit.
Yeah, that dude's great. And he's like one of the guys that I've never seen too.
Yeah.
Really dying to see him.
But I want to see more of the people that I'm having on the show. Like, we have these like cool people like you and Rand and fucking Jay, and I never get to go out and see these fucking guys. But please, listeners, if you guys have an opportunity to, if you're not working the weekends, like stupid
Going
fuckface
out.
me,
Well,
go out, check these dudes out. When are you?
And
got
buy
some shit coming
a
up?
shirt from Chris.
I'm actually out right now.
Overstock.
Here's the thing though. Like, the good news is there's shows going on damn near every night of the week in Cincinnati now.
What's the shit? Tell me about this, because I don't know where to go. What the thing is?
I didn't even know there was like a comedy scene as big as it was until like these guys started coming on the show.
Dude,
so it's
not only is
crazy
there
to
a
know
comedy-
how big
There's been
it
a
is.
scene for a long time, but now there's a scene that's gotten so wide, and the level of talent, right? The higher there, that's wider. You know, when I started, there were a few guys that were really, really great, and they are still really great. A lot of them moved away. But now it seems like there's more people doing better things than there was ever before. So there's a lot of those people. There's shows all over town. I think the the best one you can ever do is go to Go Bananas any Wednesday night. It's $5 to get in. It's the Pro-Am show, so you got a lot of Midwest or
Did you say
traveling.
Wednesday night?
Yeah, every Wednesday.
I'm fucking off every Wednesday. I can do Wednesday nights. Maybe I can actually go out and see some of this
There
shit.
it is, man.
The
And it's always a
Pro-Am
great
night,
show.
though?
It's a Pro-Am show.
You better be at the next one.
I might come tomorrow.
There you
The
go.
next one.
I got shit to.
He said it.
Yeah, I won't be at that one, but that you're gonna see. You'll see people that you do know. You'll see people that you should know. There's always people coming through town. There's always someone closing out with a little bit more time. And we've got a lot of the people here in Cincinnati now that are able to do that kind of time, and their jokes are quality. Like I said, it's gotten better than any time I can remember doing it.
I feel like I'm always seeing a new comedian coming to town, like a super famous comedian, or like Patton Oswalt will come to town. I'm like, I can't. Why the fuck is he coming to Cincinnati?
Well, a lot of that has to do with our market size has gotten bigger, and especially with entertainment, we're doing a lot more as a city than we ever were before. I mean, I can remember, not so long ago, it was kind of an armpit. But the city now, there's always something going on.
When the fucking Newport Funny Bone was there on the levee or whatever.
I used to work that one. It went down, and they were
Why'd it
opening
go
the
down?
new one. They were opening a new one up north anyway, and then that one was. I don't know if it was not doing as well. But
It's in the middle of that fucking strip mall, so it's just gonna be random people stopping in just to see any type of comedy.
But that's okay. Then if you're a good comic, you can make those people appreciate comedy, and they didn't before. It's not easy. They're ordering food, especially if you're opening the show. They're ordering while you're going up, but it makes you better. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've done all kinds of those shows.
I just heard a bunch of shitty things, not from like local comedians or anything, from the Newport one specifically, but I've listened to Tom Segura and fucking Christina Pajitsky talk shit about it nonstop. They were like, that place fucking sucked balls or whatever.
Well,
but
The
everybody,
the Liberty one is
everybody's
beautiful.
like, Go Bananas is one of the finest clubs you could fucking go and perform
Sure.
at. Like that's
It is.
like everybody seems to love that spot.
Well, it's a low ceiling, it's not as big a room. So the low ceiling, kind of like I said, kind of what I talked about earlier, all that energy from laughter just kind of bounces off, right? So all that energy keeps the momentum going much easier. Whereas if it's a bigger room and there's not as many people, then that just dissipates.
Right.
So yeah, Bananas is a really special room. I think it's kind of a sort of similar to what you'd see in maybe like a New York comedy clubs, like a low, small dank basement.
How many years have you been doing comedy so far?
I'm at like 7.5 right now.
What is that? What is the 7.5 year point for you? Like, what does that start to get into right now? Like, you doing a bunch more like road shit, opening up for like bigger people, or what is it? At this point?
Not as much as I probably should be. The fact of that matter is I got a job that I have to work during the day.
Right.
So there's certain things I can do and certain things I can't. And also, this is something that it's going to feed the hungry. And if you're not going to be out there humping it, then, you're not going to get fed. So a lot of that is all on me. So I got to work harder to get my name back out there. And I'm doing more this year. I've kind of got back into really working hard because the first several years I was doing it, I was working more than anybody. I was just hitting every stage I could because I started in 2012 when I went through this like really gnarly divorce. So like this was the only time I was kind of okay with 5 minutes at a time on this stage.
Right.
And I was naive enough to feel like it was going fairly well.
Was the divorce like fucking ruining your life while you're just like,
Yeah.
I need something to escape from this like divorce?
100%.
Yeah. Death?
Yeah, the ex left me for my best friend. So
Jesus.
Fuck.
Do you talk about this
What a
on stage ever?
bombshell.
Or is it just too much?
No, I talk about it all the time. It's if I do like a longer act, like 45 minutes to an hour, I'll bring.
You start venting.
Well, it's not even
Like this
No, I
motherfucker.
used to do a lot of. I had 20 minutes on it, but I'm so disconnected from that anymore that it's like I don't really carry the same. Certainly not. There was no rage. I don't hurt on it anymore.
You don't have the same disposition on it.
Not at all. I mean, that was the genesis for this new life that I live. I mean, here I am talking to you guys. I've opened for really cool people. I've had.
You're an
really cool
entirely
experiences.
different man.
100%.
than you were at that
100%. I'd like to think better, but who knows?
But when you first started, you were like, I either gotta fucking somehow get away with the murder of 2 people, or stay with me now. I'm gonna learn how to do comedy. And it sounds like comedy is the better of the two.
Yeah, I took the latter. I went to my buddy's place out in L.A. for a week and just decided to try it in Hollywood.
You did it out in Hollywood the first time?
Yeah, just open mics. It wasn't like
Okay.
glamorous or anything like that. It was
Did you
actually
try moving
miserable.
over there?
No, I mean, that's quite a move, and you'd be an idiot to move too early. You know what I mean?
To
It's
start
just so
in
many people.
LA,
It's
that
just
seems like a
everybody that
problem.
goes and like tries to make it or go anywhere or do things over in LA. I always hear these stories where people are going out there and they're living in their cars and shit. It's such
Right.
a crazy story over
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. And I think, and it's been said. I mean, the old saying is like, you go to New York to get good, you go to LA to get like seen, discovered. I mean, now that is opening up too. So it's like you go to New York, Atlanta, Chicago. Those are really major markets. But Cincinnati, like I said, pretty big market.
Or you could just be a crazy road dog. Like,
Yeah.
you could just do some fucking, like, real road shit. You got to be on the road all the fucking time to
And
make
look,
that happen. But you
and
can
if I
stay in the
didn't-
city you like.
Yeah, and if I didn't have a job that I like, that does well for me and it affords me to do all this stuff, and I don't need anything from stand up. I'll do whatever jokes I want to do. God damn it, I don't
Right.
care if it fucking caters to anyone. I don't try to be divisive, but I'm pretty dirty, and I'm fine not to be on your clean show. I'm more than just that,
Right.
and I'm dirty in a palatable way, or else I wouldn't fucking work at all. So, I do what I want to do. So I don't know where I was going with that, but that's why I don't go the road because I have all that stuff, and I don't want to go back to not having that money. I really like being able to like go buy new shoes when mine fucking fall apart or something.
That's the thing with chasing any type of passion. I've noticed like you get held back because your passion is so strong for this particular thing, and you're spending all this money towards it and everything. But
And your passion doesn't pay shit in the end.
No,
No,
and
it
like you have
doesn't,
to
and
take all
that's-
this time off and shit, and like you can't afford it. But then once you're like doing it as more of a hobby, and it's just kind of like for fun.
To me,
you
I'm
know,
in a
you
position.
get
Yeah,
that
exactly.
life you want.
To me, I'm in a position where I have vacation time. I can do things that get me the work, and I can work remotely sometimes. I can do all of that stuff, But I'm working at my own pace. When the industry starts, I mean, when I'm getting that kind of work, I'm starting to do that. And like I said, that's all on me. So I'm starting to do that more now. But when that happens, then I can stop doing that. But
Does having like a normal day job that pays good, does that constrain your work at all? Like
100%.
You can't say certain shit on stage because you're afraid that your coworkers be out seeing you.
Like I said, I'm dirty, but
I've heard you make I've never seen you live, but I watched a couple videos, did my due diligence about watching your comedy, the stuff that you put up from Bananas or whatever, and you did like cocaine jokes or whatever. So it's like,
but I don't do cocaine. It's just something that I've seen it done. I know what it does to people.
Gotcha.
But there's plausible deniability in that too. It's a character up there, really.
Right.
Yeah, everything that's said on the show is jokes and lies.
Yeah, it's like
everything.
It's like Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like that's Larry David, right? But it's a very blown up version of him that
it's really
can't
him.
be. But it's to some degree, but I don't think he'd say a lot of those things. I think he's a better guy than that.
Well, definitely. I mean, though I didn't mean like that's exactly him, but I mean like that's like some super exaggerated version.
Exactly.
But he's kind of like that guy only works. That character only works if Larry David is that kind of crotchety like
100%.
weirdo the entire fucking time.
Absolutely.
Saying awkward shit and putting himself in the weirdest situations.
Speaking of like comedy and all that shit, I wanted to mention I saw that Dave Chapelle special. Have you guys all seen that shit?
Yeah.
I just got to watch it the other night.
special.
I loved it.
What's the big fucking deal?
It's one of my favorite comedy specials of
Why
all
do people
time.
give it?
I've
Why are
seen
people
most
giving
of
it
them.
shit?
He's he's a classic comic that's not going to stop being that, and he's one of the absolute best. I mean, so many people had opinions on it that have never been paid $5 to have their words heard. So I don't put a whole lot of stock into it.
I loved his material because it not only did it kill and have me laugh out loud by myself in my room, looking at the TV, but it also made me think because he would come at it with his real perspective of like, this is how I feel because this is who I am, this is where I'm from. And then he goes, well, it could be like this because I'm not from this position. And it's just, it made you think on top of making you
That's
laugh.
why I like
really,
Dave
really
Chapelle.
I loved it.
He makes you really think about the stuff that he says,
Yeah.
And he's not like leaning any specific sides. He's pretty centrist, I would say.
But he's
and I
first.
feel like the jokes always land so well with what he's saying. Like he's a fucking genius. Comedic genius in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a lot of. I don't really know a whole lot of the backlash. I don't really pay too much mind to it.
Social justice.
They got mad
warrior
about him because he
bullshit.
made the trans jokes or whatever. But they were fine with all the kid fucking jokes right in the beginning about Michael Jackson.
But
say that all you want, but no
you
trans
say
jokes.
alphabet
Like,
people and you're dead.
Everybody's got something that's sensitive to them, and that's okay. That's fine. But people also enjoy. I don't know what I can say about that. Really,
You're watching Dave Chappelle
it's just
of the
comedy.
Chappelle Show.
It's just funny, ha-ha. It's like, don't take this so seriously. And okay, maybe we have some. People would say maybe we have some sort of like responsibility to push people forward. I mean, we are in a lot of. And stand-up community, I think, is pushing people forward in a lot of ways because people are getting called out and a lot of for poor behavior. People are talking about it more. I mean, we're talking about it more now than ever, and a lot of that has to do with stand-up comedy. I think putting it in the forefront. I mean, that's it's
he talks about that because if you watch that special at the end, a secret little thing pops up where it's an epilogue. Did you watch that also?
Yes,
I didn't see this.
It's a Q&A or some shit where he's talking about the jokes.
Spoiler
he's talking
alert.
about meeting this transgender person that came to like 5 of the shows. And he was talking about like being afraid to do the material, and then he thought if I should be afraid to do the material in front of them, then I should be afraid to do any other material. So let's do the material. And then she laughed even harder at those jokes, is what he said. Met her at the bar or whatever, and then the transgender person brought up like, hey, I found out about you in the New York Times about that one thing that he was talking about that like normalized. I think it might have been the R. Kelly thing. Was that what he was saying? Do you watch this? And it normalized. He said, like, was it sexual assault or it normalized? It was something like that. Where it was like it was okay to talk about it or something like that, and then he was just like, "But everybody gives you shit for talking about transgender people, but it's normalizing us." And
It was
he
talking
like,
about,
"Oh shit, I never even thought about that."
Executives talking about how, like, hey, you can't say this particular. I think it was like saying the
talking
word
about the joke
retard
in the
or
special.
something. Yeah, he said some joke like that. It was something about his particular subject. That was,
but I'm talking about there's another 22-minute thing after his special. Whatever the point
yeah,
was,
he said they couldn't say certain
the big
things.
long convoluted point is that like it was like he's just making jokes and he's talking about you. Like that's how people get accepted, is like you're just everybody else. We can fuck with you just like we can fuck with everybody else. Not in a super hateful way. Some people aren't ready for it, but just turn it off if you're not ready.
I mean, there's a way to do that stuff and not be super hateful.
Yeah,
and I think he kind of did. I don't know. Listen. I can't speak to it because it's not who. I guess I'm not as educated on it, and I'm not, as close to that world. So, if someone got their feelings hurt, that's certainly. I don't think that was ever the intention.
I just feel like if you were going to laugh at the entirety of the special, but think that he is then at that point during that joke specifically being mean for some reason, you're crazy and in denial. Like, you really need to reevaluate yourself. If you thought he was being funny the whole time and all of a sudden for this next 15 minutes he's punching down at a group of people on purpose to put them down, you are in denial and you need to reevaluate yourself.
The other thing that bothers me is everybody had an opinion about it, because Allie put up a status about it, and she's bi, so she's a part of the LGBTQ community, and she was like, I watched it with Cody, and she's pretty sensitive about a lot of shit. I make a lot of fucked up jokes, and she tolerates it because she loves me, but she does get her feelings hurt when I say crazy shit sometimes.
Right.
So I was like, I don't know how she's gonna feel about it. We hadn't watched it. I saw the flack that he was getting online, and I was like, fuck it, let's just watch it together and see how we feel. We're holding each other, crying, laughing the entire time. It was so good, and it was just funny. Like, every time you thought that he was gonna get serious, he just turns a left and just like makes it hilarious. Which is, it's jokes first, and that's what I really appreciated about it.
I would assume there's much less people that dislike him than do, obviously.
Well, the funny thing was, she made a big long status about it on Facebook. Like, I don't understand what all the fucking issue is and all the fuss is. Like, this was a great special, and it was all about the funny. All these people, strong opinion. Really? I hit them all up.
It was
only
funny.
people with strong opinions, and I was like, I started actually getting into it with them. They started going on these long fucking,
He's
Facebook
a keyboard warrior.
Diatribes.
Yeah, huge diatribes about it. And then I was like, wait, did you watch the special? Every one of them were like, nope, haven't watched it yet. And I'm like, how do you have this fucking opinion then?
Yeah,
like, you have an opinion about something you haven't even seen because an article told you how to feel about it already.
And that's, to your point, like you said, could you really laugh at the whole... I don't think anyone that would get so offended by anything he said would laugh at anything in the special, because I think they probably, in some ways, were looking for something.
Yeah.
Very true.
I'm sorry.
Looking for something to complain about.
Like, they're watching it to find a purpose to be.
Yeah, and I don't mean to be presumptuous or accusatory in any way. I'm no one to have an opinion on any of that, so I'm supportive of whatever you want to do. But if someone makes a joke, they're not really... he didn't seem like he was making jokes at them. That's what I can say.
I'm not trying to be divisive by talking about it either.
Because you've seen people make jokes about people and like really try and dig in and be shitty, and that didn't feel like that to me.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Well, I don't try to be divisive and shitty on the show to like whatever stir up controversy about Dave Chapelle. It's just more or less like I'm pro comedy, because I grew up watching a fuckload of comedy and I love comedians. So I'm just like, he didn't do anything. I like just gotta. I always like.
You almost feel like you're defending your love for the comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That is what it is. Because I don't know Chapelle.
You feel like maybe you're a little attacked on your opinion of it because people had such strong opinions against it, and I really think that's what it boils down to. Like,
sure.
Oh, you calling me stupid? You calling me a shithead?
That's probably exactly what it is. I'm the same person as the other people that are getting upset, but on the opposite side of the spectrum. I'm no better, it turns out. I'm just as much of a piece of shit. Thank God we had Chris Siemer on today, because how else would I know? I'm garbage.
I know everything about being a piece of shit, man.
Self-revelations with Chris Siemer.
What kind of fucking weird... You said you didn't really do the road a lot as a comic.
I've done quite a bit of it, but just not like going out on the road for, days on end.
Right.
You know what
Is
I mean?
it dog shit being on the road? Well, maybe that's more from the days on end part. If it's just like a one-off, it probably seems like it would just be
I love
fun.
it because I have friends everywhere now doing it. But
yeah.
You were talking about how your job offers you vacation. Have you stacked up your vacation to plot out like a small tour?
Not yet, but that's coming. That's probably going to be next year.
What do you got coming up? Something that our people can go to. You said Pro-Am night at Bananas on Wednesday.
Yeah, I won't be there,
else?
but I run an open mic every couple of weeks. But like, the next shows I got are going to be out of town. I'm going with Rand to Asheville, North Carolina next Thursday.
Nice.
Oh, hell
That's
yeah.
awesome.
That should be
And
fun.
I believe the next weekend I'm in Detroit for the Motor City Comedy Festival. So nothing really local, just right around the corner. But there's all kinds of shows going on, and it might pop up on something soon. But there's some people, like, there's all kinds of people that have shows going on right now. Like Lee Kimbrell runs a nice show down in the Hub in OTR. Lee's a good guy to get on here as well.
Absolutely. Love to have him.
And then me and Billy DeVore have an open mic, but like there's a bunch of open mics. There's only a few shows. Motor Mouth is a really good one down in the basement of Motor.
What are the weirdest shows that you've ever
Yeah, I
done
was
before?
about to ask.
Strange, weird. I hate to put you on the spot like that, but there's got to be. I need 7.5
Like,
years.
well, it couldn't have been like if let's say you have a bad show, like it couldn't have been as bad as this show.
No, man,
Like
this has been a
weird show.
So I would say the strangest. I would think would be the strangest place I've done comedy was with Jay Armstrong.
Yeah.
We
some former meth house or whatever, covering meth people.
No, better than that. It was a strip club, and we were going to a show.
Strip club.
You know what I want to see when I go to a strip club?
Stand-up
comedy.
Yeah.
Stand-up comedy.
Yeah, I know. They didn't either.
Yeah.
But we were treated like kings, man. It was a great trip. We were going to some show in like Illinois, but right before you go across the river, there was this strip club. And we didn't realize that when we left that, there's a time change. So we were like 2.5, 3 hours early for the show.
Oh shit.
So we go to the strip club, or first we go to the casino, and I think Jay lost a little bit of money in short order.
Jay gambles?
He did.
He told me to go sober the last time he was on this show. He's out there gambling.
Well, everybody's got their vice. There's no drugs involved in gambling.
That's fair.
Just an itch.
That's fair.
So he lost a little bit of money in real quick time. So I was like, you know what? Let's go back to the strip club. I want to have a beer, and that's the kind of crowd I want to drink it with.
Yeah.
So we went back, met the manager. It was like 5 PM. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of people in.
I want a $13 Bud Light, and I want some titties in my face.
No, I think he bought us a beer.
Okay.
Not Jay, obviously. I was the only one drinking. I can't remember who was with us that night. I think maybe Glenn Childress. We stopped at the strip club to get a beer, and then when we talked to the manager. He's like, "Oh, I love stand-up comedy. Love to have it." And then fast forward like a year, we're back there doing shows there, and we were treated like kings. We stayed in a little apartment next to it, and they left the door open in the back. Said, "Help yourself. Come on in whenever."
Come on in, strippers.
No,
just kidding.
Yeah, there was nothing. They just let us go in the back. It was a fucking wild time. It was a wild time. I didn't mean nothing too crazy or anything like that, but they were just feeding us booze the entire weekend when we were doing the shows up there.
That sounds like a deal.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Sounds like a night that would ruin Cody's career if he was a comedian.
Ruin my career. How so, Luke? What do you think would happen, bud?
It was a great
Just
time.
feeding you alcohol like that, you would just become a monster.
We were just treated like we were kind of the stars in the place. Like security was hanging out with us and shit, and it looks cool when you're that. It was
hanging out with security.
It was a lot long.
That would be cool.
A long time ago. Like I'm not going back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think those days are done behind me, but it was a wild time. And I remember when it was going. I mean, I was still pretty fresh out of the divorce. I was like, oh, this is
great. I never thought I'd see myself here.
This is why I got into this.
Yeah, did you get a handy from some girl with some fake tits after?
No,
Nothing?
No, just
No.
bodyguards.
No,
Didn't even hook up with a one-eyed bartender?
no.
The girls that couldn't make it to the stage.
She
they
had
were always
both
the
eyes.
bartenders.
She had both eyes. One's just a little lazy.
Yeah.
No. We were on our best behavior. I was just real drunk.
Right on. Have you guys
Sounds like a good time.
have you ever that's the weirdest one. Have you ever had some real fucking dog shit shows? Might not be like eating plates of dicks on stage or
I can tell you the one where I really had a bad time. People have heard this story, but you guys haven't, so maybe your listeners haven't. First time I ever opened for any comic ever. I was about a year and a half. I wasn't quite 2 years in, I don't believe. So the first time I ever opened for anybody.
Bill Cosby.
No. Cat Williams.
What? No
Yeah.
fucking way.
At U.S. Bank Arena, and I haven't even been to the
What
club.
a
Holy
character
shit.
that guy is.
Yeah, it didn't go well, friends.
What would happen?
That's what I'm banking
Spill
on.
it.
I was so naive at the time. I pull in there. I've got my own private secure parking and shit. I'm thinking,
Security?
Now the world's gonna know who I am. I just hope they forgot, because so I was supposed to do 15 minutes for $300. I don't think I had 15 minutes really. I was gonna go out there and try
9 minutes in crowd work.
They-
How many people were there, would you say?
it. Roughly 5,000 if I had to guess.
Fucking Christ, you went out there and you didn't even have 15 minutes material?
I don't think so.
But
What a savage.
So I've seen comedy at the U.S. Bank Arena. So was it one of the? So when you were doing your setup, was everyone still just trying to sit down and buy beers
no,
and
no, no.
everything?
No, they were watching.
There was a lady that went up before me. She did real good.
Oh,
Did she walk by you right
The
before you
audience
came on
loved
and
her.
say, I warmed him up for you?
The
Were you
audience
like,
loved
Let
her.
the man tell a story. Let's
The
hear
audience
the end of
loved
this.
her. They wanted to boo me off stage. I mean, it is what it is. It was great. I mean, like, look, it's a great story.
It's great.
I got a hell of a bonus the next day too. So.
You got a bonus for it?
Cat gave me $500 before the show even started.
Yeah.
And he couldn't have been nicer. I mean, I think he knew what was about to happen to me, right? But he couldn't have been nicer about it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, it was great.
What happened though? How
did he know?
They just hated your material, or?
Oh yeah, they hated me from the minute I stepped out there. And like I said, Cat was so nice. And by the way, like I have to say this: the man was totally lucid, very in the zone, very much what you would expect someone would have to do before they go out there in front of that kind of crowd.
That's good to hear.
Walking around, smoking a cigarette. And just hanging hands behind his back. I think his mom was in there with us. He was very.
You met Cat Williams' mom? Oh yeah, they're from Avondale. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, he was very, very kind. He was very kind. But then his audience did not like me. As soon as I went out there, I was just like, oh man, I thought it was gonna be great, right? First thing I said, they had like a smoke machine. I was like, oh, look at all the smoke. You'd think Cat's dressing room is under the stage. Crickets. Nothing.
Oh,
Nothing.
Really?
Yeah. People just like, nope. And then. I started into the divorce stuff and like
you start telling your jokes nervously quickly too.
Yeah.
You start like trying to pull your shirt a little bit.
You might have had 9 minutes of crowd work, but then you're just speeding through all your jokes, and now you got 4 minutes.
I probably had 15 minutes that had worked in small rooms before, but 15. I mean, come on,
5,000 people.
I'm guessing. I don't know.
Holy
Damn.
shit!
I don't know what I would do.
My
man.
butthole's sealing up for you.
I don't know what I would do.
Well, I'll tell you what I did do. When the booze got to be at full capacity, and it comes on fast, you know what I mean? It's like boom, 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 boom. All those boos hit you. It's like my hair moved back. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit.
You thought the booze moved your hair back?
Yeah, dude. I was like, well, shit. All right. Well, have a good night. And I just left. And I was like, what the fuck just happened, dude? You know what I mean? I get back to the dressing room, and like there was all this cheese and drinks. And I was like, I don't deserve any of this shit. Oh yeah, big cheese. Nice plug there. And I'm glad you remembered that. So I'm like, I don't deserve any of this shit. I started packing up my stuff. I went out and kind of watched him. As he got started. He's like, give it up, Cincinnati. What's going on? You have already booed the white man off stage. What the fuck is happening? And I went, they fucking sure did, Cat.
God.
Let's never forget.
Did you stay like that whole show? And like
no.
watch it? I left, I
left right then.
Did you cry in your car on the way home?
No, man. I would have. Here's what I did. I left right away.
Oh, man.
And like even the little girl back there in security was like, hi, you know.
You know what it is?
Man.
So I get in my car and I started
like
driving.
You've seen worse, right? And she was like, oh, yeah, I've seen worse.
I drove south to Latonia and did another show with Jay. Did pretty well.
Night?
Yeah. Pulled my jokes out. I said, I got some jokes I didn't get to tonight.
Yeah.
That went much better. And Jay knew it went poorly because as I walked up, I mean, I only knew about it for like 2 days, but I wouldn't stop talking about it online because I was, I was so jazzed about it. But as soon as I walked up, my buddy Billy was like, how'd it go? And I was like, oh. Jay was like,
He cried and grabbed
Jay
him.
goes,
I'm sorry.
Jay goes, I knew it. He didn't say anything about it online. I knew it.
Oh, my God.
It was, but what a story. I mean,
Yeah.
That's a pretty good bomb story.
That's a beautiful. That's tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I can feel that where you're like 5,000 people boo
I've never
you and
been
you
booed.
feel your hair blow back.
That's the only time I've ever heard a boo, and boy, howdy, did they really throw a heater at me.
I don't know. I would go the fuck home.
Pat, did you ever get booed by some people like that?
Nothing. It was fun.
Pat, did you ever get booed by some people like that?
I've been booed. Yeah, I've had people throwing bottles
What
at
was the
me
most?
and shit.
What was the most for you?
Yeah,
he's had a
I played
5,000
music.
Cat
Yeah, those
Williams
audiences are way
crowd.
worse.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like they're a little bit more aggressive and in your face because they're there. But I mean, comedy's totally a whole other ball game. I don't know how people can get up there, get heckled, and just keep going with the punches. I feel like that would kill my confidence or something. I don't know. That's just me though. I'm an insecure.
We're typically better at it than anyone in the audience. So
yeah. So I mean, yeah, I played a show in like Indiana, and it was like a bunch of hardcore bands, and I was like a metalcore kid. So it was a slightly different genre of metal, which most people probably can't tell. But if you are in that genre of stuff, then it's a big fucking deal for some reason. Yeah. And some guys were throwing bottles at us on stage. And they were shattering behind us. We kept playing. We played the whole show.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And then afterwards,
what kind of psycho fucking club lets people throw bottles at the perform? Oh, okay.
House show.
Makes sense.
House show.
That is
all right.
punk rock. Right?
Now I get it.
And then as I was walking by, like just to go outside because I don't want to be around all the. I don't wear earplugs when I play, and I just ring in
tinnitus.
I probably got.
Fuck your hearing.
Probably got it. But I remember I was walking out and some guy grabbed me and he swung me over into the pit. And Brad, if you remember him on the podcast, he came by, he ripped his shirt off He's like the softest teddy bear guy ever, but he's like a scary.
But he's
fucking
got neck tattoos.
He looks scary as fuck
like,
if you never knew him. Like he looks scary as fuck.
That might be trouble.
He looks like he could kill you with one hand if you didn't. But he's like I could never picture this guy getting in a fight. But he takes his shirt off and he pushes him away and like picks me up. We go outside and they're like trying to pick a fight with everybody in the crowd. And we had to leave early, but it was for no fucking reason. It was just some weird thing hardcore kids had against metalcore kids. Whatever. I don't know what it was.
Man, you were all united in the music, man.
It was a weird time back then.
Focus on the similarities.
Nowadays, it's a lot easier. Yeah. It's easier to like get. I feel like Cincinnati is like totally turned around when it comes to like how people are with other creative things like in comedy.
Yeah. From my perspective, it seems like there's a lot of support from a lot of different places, and we need to give that to our vocalists around the city, our artists around the city, and there's a lot of these relationships now forming because those bridges are being built.
I wish there was more podcasts, man, around here. If you guys have ever listened to the show and you want to start one, just start a podcast, man. It really does bring people together. I never would have met half these people.
Goddamn, met so many cool people. I didn't even know that, like what Pat was saying about the comedy scene. Like you were like, yeah, it's always been here, but like we'd have fucking never known about it.
Sure. Had I not had one. I always knew.
Okay, Luke.
Luke was cool.
Big dick strolling over here. I know about everything going on in this city.
Involved.
But I mean, anybody in any creative, like I feel like lately in Cincinnati, everybody's always been like growing up, oh, fuck Cincinnati, we get the fuck out of Cincinnati, there's nothing to do in Cincinnati. There's a fuck ton of shit to do in Cincinnati now. There are so many creative things going on. Art, Blink, there's comedy, there's
Blink
shows
was one of the
music.
coolest things I've ever been to.
And like there's like new parks and like they're gentrifying the whole city. There's so much shit to do now, and I feel like the communities now are just so much nicer than they used to be. Things used to be so cruel, I feel like.
I fucking hate traveling too, so if you could just bring it all here to Cincinnati, that'd be fantastic.
That'd be great, man.
Goddamn, I don't like traveling. I hate it, in fact. It's bad.
I feel like it's super fucking weird that we have a Ferris wheel. Is that weird to you guys to think that we have a fucking Ferris wheel downtown? They're putting a second one
in Newport so that we can see it from Cincinnati, and Newport can see Cincinnati from there.
Who's got the biggest Ferris wheel?
I think Newport's supposed to be having the biggest one. I don't think that this one in Cincinnati is going to be permanent.
Really?
I don't believe so. It's not permanent because before it was there, it was down at Coney Island, I believe.
It's weird that people have sex on that thing.
I think one group of people one couple had sex in there.
They got caught.
Well, I mean, listen, if they caught them, if they got let them free them.
We already discussed this on the podcast.
Free the scumbags.
They should have been free to do what they want. They weren't hurting nobody.
Yeah,
exactly.
It was only there's that goddamn hotel room, fellas.
As Luke says, victims are victims for a reason. So why on earth are you looking? You know, let dude get some pipe.
Why are there cameras in that
Let me just say publicly all the crazy shit I've said on this. Let's not make the catchphrase of the bastard sermon. Victims are victims for a reason.
Don't.
Just Luke's tagline.
Just quote Luke Young on that one.
Only Luke. Pat was just quoting Luke.
I was just quoting.
Luke's views in no way represent the bastard sermon. We're not putting that on a T-shirt either, Luke. He wants that. Chris Siemer, he wants that on a T-shirt.
No, I know.
How do you feel about that?
Hear me out, fellas. Cheese, big cheese. Let me talk to you.
You have to listen to that episode because it needs context, okay? Without it, it sounds like I'm a terrible person. You need to go listen to the episode. I don't even remember
Chris
what
that you're not a terrible
was.
person right now.
Yeah, give us a string of charities that you've donated to.
He hasn't really shown me that he's a terrible person to begin with. You got nothing to prove, baby.
Thank you.
There you go.
You got nothing to prove with me.
Yeah, fuck you, Pat. I'm a good guy.
No, that's the big cheese. He doesn't go.
I'm the big cheese. You don't ever call me Pat.
That'll never stick for
the big
rest
cheese.
Of forever.
Will be what I'm gonna wear this hat on every fuck. I'm gonna wear it every single time.
On every fuck.
Every fucking episode. Every fuck. All of it. No.
All right.
That's a bummer.
Some context, right? There was this guy, Carmen, that I know. I'm just like getting this cheese hat to let him know I'm a bigger piece of cheese. Like he's a Swiss cheese if I had to pick him as a cheese. So if there was like the holes in the cheese,
Cody's
I'm so glad you're doing your shitty inside joke with Carmen on the podcast right now.
It's just
no one but you and Carmen get.
I will be the big cheese.
Awesome.
Anyways, go on.
Cool, Pat. Super cool. So, has everyone seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yet?
I still haven't.
Well, don't waste your time.
I think it
was great.
I love Quentin Tarantino's movies, and I hate to fucking say this. I absolutely hate to say this, but it's a terrible fucking movie. It's not just the worst Tarantino movie.
I've heard the other
things.
things.
It's fucking a bad movie, period, if it was made by just anybody.
I heard the exact opposite end of the spectrum, where it was like his best one. But I want to see it because I think
Who
visually
told you
it's going to
that?
look pretty.
Because stop being friends with that person. They'll lead you down some dark
I think
paths.
visually it's going to look stunning like old Hollywood. I really have to see that.
Yeah, maybe, but not really. I don't know. Man.
I'm very shocked to hear that you say it sucks. I wish you saw it so I could
Tarantino.
talk about it. But basically, like, I wouldn't say it's his best, but I would say it's still good. It's still a good movie.
Name a worse Tarantino movie. Like, if you had to name a worse one. I've seen them all. So
I've not seen them all.
I've seen every one of them.
That's actually
and
a tough
True
call.
Romance and fucking and Natural Born Killers, even though he didn't direct them, and fucking Four Rooms, even though he was.
I
I've
like
seen them
all his movies.
But
They're
I'm
all
telling
fucking
you, this
great.
one was fucking dog shit. And it made it worse. Now I've got a whole thing that sets this up. Don't worry, I won't give you any spoilers if you haven't seen it. But me and Allie, the only showing that they had that fit our schedule was a 9:50 p.m. showing. You know, because the movie's 8.5 hours long, and fucking they can only play it twice a day. So like there was like one at 4 in the morning or one at 9:50 p.m. And we were like, well, fucking, I guess we're gonna 9:50 p.m. it, and then we get a babysitter, the whole nine and shit. We're getting
3-hour
food
movie.
at a Mexican restaurant, paying like $80 for a nice night out. It's gonna finish with a Tarantino movie that we're fucking both Tarantino fans. It's gonna be fantastic.
God, you set
Can't
up.
Wait, I got a margarita.
You were like, this is gonna be the best night of like my year.
Damn,
like
dude.
I've been waiting
First-
for
you
this.
You know
shit.
what? That's why it's so bad to you.
No,
Because
no.
it was supposed to blow your mind.
Like they went out
It
and
was.
celebrated.
Wasn't this supposed to be his last one?
No, it gets worse. My fucking story
There's
gets
two
worse.
more.
The
Okay,
first
I think.
night in forever that I didn't get wildly drunk immediately into the off day, right? So I did get a couple buzz balls to bring into the theater, and we did the fucking
Attaboy.
buy $8 popcorn and a $22 fucking soft drink so that they don't search your purse when you go in there or whatever. And then we go into the movie theater. I guess we didn't really. I'll bury the lead on this. We go into the movie theater and we sit down. And the movie starts at 9:50, so you know there's 10 to 15 minutes worth of credits. And we're there at 45. We have 5 minutes. 9:50 rolls up. The lights are still on. The screen doesn't even have fucking like anything going. Not advertisements, not shit. We were like, what's happening right now? And I was like, well, it's probably a late showing. They're probably going to see if they can sell these tickets. So they're probably keeping it rolling for a minute. And I don't know what dumb thoughts are going on in my retarded head. I don't know how people run a cinema. I'm not Luke. And so they've... Oh, yeah.
Fuckhead.
All right, sorry. I'll edit it out if necessary. I didn't know it was a secret. Jesus, I didn't say the name.
Just keep
Goddamn.
going.
All right, fucking psychopath.
Explain at break, asshole.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. So, I'm in there with Allie, and then finally, we're looking at our clock. I'm using my wrist as if anybody has a fucking wristwatch anymore. We're looking at our phones for the time. Fucking okay. All right.
Half of us in this room.
We've got the Dick Tracy
The
watch.
lights are still on, and then this shitty fucking cell phone commercial thing pops up where it's like, you pull your phone out in the middle of the movie, and we've got this little penguin game that you can play. And I'm like, you want phones out in the middle of the movie theater? I was like, also, we're like 15 minutes into credits, and you're just now on like the shitty fucking Comcast commercials that you would get on like just normal TV. And I was like, what is happening? It keeps rolling. We go another 5 minutes. Then finally they start playing fucking movie trailers. And the movie trailers they're playing are like Disney movie trailers. And I was like, fucking Tarantino
Red flag.
movie? It's like, what is happening?
Quentin Tarantino movie,
The fuck
Disney
is
trailers.
happening? And they're playing all the Disney trailers. And me and Allie are looking at each other like, is this a goddamn joke? Like, it is like 10:30 at this point. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, we should be 10 minutes into this movie.
You went to the wrong
no, you should
goddamn
be
theater.
30 minutes of that movie.
And then the
Fuck
final one
theater you
goes
go
off.
to?
The lights finally go off. A sun starts to rise. Sawinya! And I was like, what the fuck? And we go out of the movie theater all indignant and shit. Like, they're playing the wrong movie in here. And we look up.
the wrong goddamn-
You left the theater to check?
Look down. We were one movie off. I just
You're a
confidently.
fucking idiot.
No, I confidently followed Allie's ass into the movie theater. She looked like she knew where she was going, so I'm with her. Yeah, I trust my girlfriend.
no,
Not
dude.
anymore. Missed the whole first 15 goddamn minutes of it. And I'm like,
Oh, no.
I'm getting furious. And I'm mad at Allie for some reason. I'm blaming everybody but myself for not looking up and shit. It's all my fault. But, like, I want to be mad at Allie for it so badly. And I was like, yo, like, this is all your fault. I missed the first 15 minutes of my fucking, oh, God. And I'm on Wikipedia, like, we have to quickly read the first 15 minutes. And we barely
Did
missed
you really?
any of it. Yeah, I missed the very beginning. But from what I read,
now you look
I didn't
like
miss
an
really
asshole.
anything. I walk into the theater. We sit down. From what I can tell from and I looked it up later, I only missed like 15 minutes, and it wasn't an important 15 minutes, apparently. And I start to watch it, and I'm ready to love it the whole time. And I'm waiting to love it. I'm waiting to love it, and it's like an hour in. I'm waiting to love it, and I'm still waiting to love it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm bored out of my goddamn mind right now. So I start cracking the buzz balls. Like, let's get a little drunk. Maybe this will make it better.
Buzz balls.
Sure the fuck didn't. And Allie's pregnant, so she can't get drunk. So she's not got some obscure drunken opinion of this. We get to the end. By the end of the fucking movie, we're just looking at each other like laughing because the end was fun, but there was the only fun part, and it didn't make any goddamn sense. It didn't wrap up with any conclusion made any fucking sense. And I was like, they just told like 8 stories that never ended and that never had a point, that never started any. There was like, you told the middle of a story for like 40 minutes 4 times. And then now we're at a crazy ending, and then there's another middle of another story that you're gonna just right there in the end, and then there's a weird after credits fucking trailer that Tarantino made up, and that part's cool, but it's maybe the coolest part of the whole fucking movie. And I was like, son of a bitch, this is horrible. And we walk out and go to our car, and I'm angrily smoking outside. I was like, am I just drunk right now? Was that terrible? And she was like, it was awful. Then there was 2 people walking out. I was like, hey, how do y'all feel about that? And they're like, it was a pile of dog shit. We drove an hour.
Seriously?
This was the only theater going to play it. There was only like 2 other people, and they were both like, that was terrible. They were like, we're Tarantino
I
fans.
really want to argue it and explain why I like it, but we obviously can't.
I'm not trying to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it.
Yeah, I still want to see it.
And he just gave a huge detailed reason as to why he hated it was because he was a fucking idiot and he didn't look up and he
it's personal at this point. He missed part of it.
It just ruined it. The whole time.
Like you said, he made a whole meal of the night. You know, he was like, this is what we're doing.
Look, you guys.
Your expectations were really high.
He fucking went out to dinner beforehand. Like, we're gonna have a good fucking date night. My whole night's dedicated to this perfect viewing of this Quentin Tarantino film.
Dinner is a stretch. We had chips and salsa, and
you said $80. That's what you
exaggerate.
said.
Well, there's a babysitter too involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, mom, that's even more money.
Which was free.
These fools, like a bunch of ignorant kids, didn't look up, missed their film, and then angrily yelled at each other about it.
Did they even care about the film? Like, you didn't even pay attention where you were walking.
Put each other in a bad mood to watch.
First off, Cody, this is the movie you've been planning for all night, and you missed the fucking where you're walking in. Who does that? First off, did you ever, even if it's a movie I don't care about, like, how do you even miss what theater you're walking into?
You have some fucking drunken idiot, you guys. How many episodes you guys do together before you know? Yeah, but that means I'm a little drunk. I don't know what happened this night, Cody.
I think you're just making shit up.
This is a lot like Lewis Black's Anticipation album.
Just because we have a comedian on the show doesn't mean you have to fucking equate everything to another comedian's stand-up performance. This is kind of like the time that
his opening joke was like
Louis C.K. jerked off in front of those women. I don't know if that was a stand-up routine, but coming 2020.
It is for some people.
Yeah, I don't know. That's how I felt about it. But I love Tarantino movies, and you're right. I set it up to be too much.
He's also going to make it. He's making it sound like a shit movie. I mean,
it was a dog shit movie.
I still had a good time with it. I mean, who doesn't like Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt in a rated R movie?
Not after that movie. I don't like either of them. I like their whole body of work.
You hate them now?
I'm kidding. No, I love them. They're fantastic.
What to say, bro?
Hate their whole body of work now.
Yeah, everything they've ever done. It's this one movie I did.
I'm going back to say Legends of the Fall was horse shit.
What's that?
It was like Brad Pitt's breakout movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that shit. I don't know, but I thought it was good. I just thought it didn't really fucking go anywhere. You ever watch a movie where you're like, what the fuck am I watching here?
Like, when it doesn't have an ending to wrap anything up, it's like you kind of fuck you a little bit for wasting my time.
Yeah, that's what happened.
But maybe there's introducing characters for another 3-hour saga.
I always find it interesting. Like, there's movies out there with like some serious budget that are bad as fuck. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought the fucking Fantastic Beasts shit is fucking awful, and like it's high budget. And then like I'm pissed off about that. But then I'll like watch notoriously bad movies like Sharktopus, Shark Octopus, and I'll be like, this is obviously one of the worst movies I've ever seen, but I love it. I wonder why that is. It's really weird.
I haven't been watching movies lately, man.
What do you do with your free time?
I'd much rather I'd much rather just like watch a great series because there's so much going on.
Like what?
What's the last shit that you watched?
Yeah.
Dude, there's new shit on HBO that just started that I'm into.
That fucking Preacher show?
Yeah, The Righteous Gemstones.
Cancel my HBO subscription after
fucking
Game of Thrones ended.
Fantastic.
I hear it's good.
It's funny and
what is it? I don't know what it is.
It's about an evangelist family that super wealthy, and then they're kind of corrupt.
Yeah.
So, but there's really funny. It's Danny McBride and John Goodman and
Oh, that's
Adam
gotta be
Dwight.
good.
Yeah,
I mean, I love Danny McBride, dude.
Yeah.
He's in something. He's the same character every fucking time, but I fucking love it.
Did you see Vice Principals with him and Walton Goggins?
I haven't had a chance yet.
Okay, so that's on HBO too, and that's only a 2-season series, so you can button it up really quick.
The ending too.
Yep.
Dude, that's fucking great. I love when shows do that shit.
It's really great.
Have you seen Chernobyl?
I haven't watched that yet.
Oh, dude, that shit is nuts.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's 6 episodes long, and it is fucked up, bro.
Is that it, or is there going to be another season?
No, that's it.
That's it.
No,
So it's a miniseries.
It's just about what happened during the meltdown and like the immediate actions of them cleaning it up, and it's all done in English and whatever.
Talking about Chernobyl?
Yeah, it was that shit, man. But there were some episodes in there where you're like,
kind of
the
heinous.
fuck, I'm
You haven't
questioning
seen
my
Chernobyl
life.
yet?
Not yet.
Oh, dude, if
It's
you got
on my
HBO.
list. Yeah, I got it. It's on my list. I was telling him about Vice Principals. You got to check that one out.
Vice
Danny
Principals?
McBride. Danny McBride. Do you like Danny McBride?
Danny McBride from Eastbound and Down.
Yeah.
And he does all the fucking Seth Rogen movies.
Yeah.
and
He's in the
Frank
Gemstone
movies.
movie as well, or the Gemstone show as well.
Yeah,
I've been
heard that he
wanting to
does-
peep that show.
A friend from work told me about it, and he said that he's doing like ridiculous, like he's doing cocaine as a preacher and like sleepaway camp or whatever the fuck, and gets busted for doing it. He's playing like a loose Eastbound and Down character, I forget what that fucking dude's name is. The Danny
Kenny
McBride
Powers?
character.
Yeah,
Kenny Powers.
Kenny
Yeah.
Powers.
It's like
bro.
a religious Kenny Powers, like lightweight sort of Danny
That sounds
McBride.
amazing. I gotta watch
No,
this
I'm not
shit.
mad at it. I'm happy. Like, keep doing that fucking thing forever. Just keep twisting and turning it because I love it. I love that concept.
It works pretty well. John Goodman on there is really fantastic too.
John Goodman's in it?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Didn't he get skinny? Isn't he, like, weirdly skinny now? It's
I
all
wouldn't call him
He's
skinny.
looking
He's
pretty
got-
old now.
he's
I'll
old.
say that.
He's
I love
lost a lot
John
of weight.
Goodman, though.
He's fantastic. Yeah, he's really great in this show.
I remember when I first saw him in television, which was Roseanne, and I loved Roseanne growing up. The new season's fucking scary garbage, though. Very political and
was
weird.
all a dream.
But, I mean, like, John Goodman's fucking been acting for like 40 years or some shit. Dude
long
is
time.
like 90 years old or
fantastic.
something. And he was recently in that horror movie. He said, I saw like some YouTube series.
Red
like,
State.
Red State, yeah,
Is that what it is?
fantastic.
Where
was
they
great
talk
in that,
about like
yeah.
their most famous roles or whatever? Is that what you're talking about?
Red State was
Red
a movie.
State
he
was
in.
a
It
Kevin Smith movie. It was like the first time that he went horror instead of, because everybody shits on his like comedies like Zack and Miri Make a Porno, which I thought was a fine comedy.
I
like that
Everybody
movie.
hated it.
I thought
and
that was really funny.
That was a
I
good
thought it was
movie.
awesome, and all the critics fucking hated it because everybody's a critic, blah blah blah. And then he was like,
Clerks was
"Fuck
good.
you! I'm just gonna do whatever I want to do." And he started making horror movies. Made Red State, and John Goodman's that super part of that
he a
religious
bad guy?
cult or whatever. Yeah,
Dude, he's so good at playing bad guys.
I don't know if you call it bad.
I don't
guys.
remember it
Remember, he was
correctly, I
like
guess.
It was just he had people captive in that tank or whatever during the under the ground shit. Yeah, it was a long time ago that I watched it, but I remember going.
Oh no, you're talking about not Red State. You're thinking
That's
of
Chernobyl.
No, not Chernobyl. The
or what-
fucking
not
it's
the,
part 2 of
That's what I'm thinking of. Cloverfield.
Cloverfield. Yeah, it's Cloverfield 2. That's what you're thinking
yeah.
of.
Where they
right?
were in the Doomsday Bunker.
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
shot that dude in the face. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Whatever that dude's
one.
in,
I think
it's
I
so
saw Red
good.
State as well, but I don't know, man. I guess.
Red
Well,
State's
I mean, he
the
plays
religious
villains
one.
in a couple of movies, like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? He was
Yeah.
like that KKK
fantastic.
guy.
He's
I love that
fantastic
movie.
in that. He
God.
was just He, really
He was in it
showed
for
up.
such a short time, though,
And that's
But I mean, there was also The Monument Men. Have you seen that one? It has like a bunch of big name actors in it. It was like about World War II, where all these people, or the Nazis, were trying to steal precious works of art, and so the Monument Men, which were a group of soldiers, went to go find those paintings. And he's like it's like a war movie, but kind of comedy with like George Clooney and shit.
Oh, well, fuck,
It's
I
pretty
didn't see
good,
that then.
dude. It's pretty good shit. But yeah,
It's not too old either, is it?
no,
Okay.
like I would say like 5-6 years.
Okay.
There's
so it's got
lots of
John
big
Goodman
names.
in it.
John Goodman. It's got look it up.
I
it's
watch
got
fucking anything
George
with John
Clooney.
Goodman in it. What was that other Coen Brothers
Damon.
movie with John Goodman in it? That's like the one that takes place in like early Hollywood or whatever the fuck, like 1920s, and he's like the next door neighbor of this writer dude. Forget the name of it, but it's a fucking amazing movie. I'd have to look up like Coen Brothers movies, but he plays this psychopath that's like in a hotel room next to this other guy, and you slowly start to learn that he's a psychopath all the way up into this big climactic ending or whatever the fuck. It was so good. That dude's in everything.
It's
Awesome. Anything
always-
John Goodman you
yeah.
can always watch.
Yep.
It's always so crazy when you see like characters or actors like usually are in like feel good movies and stuff when they play like scary movies, like Robin Williams, like when he was in 1 Hour
1 Hour
Photo.
Photo, yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah, I do.
That was some fucking weird shit. Have you guys
Yeah.
ever even heard about that? He was in a
heard
horror
of it.
movie where where they used to do 1 hour photos where you bring your photographs there and they would print them out, and an hour later you can get them and shit.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah, and he's
And
like
it was
a fucking crazy
creepy.
stalker. Yeah.
I had a big place in my heart for Robin, so I watched a lot of his stuff.
I was so heartbroken when he died.
Me too.
I've never cared until that.
That was that was probably the first one that really was like, God damn, like that dude's never gonna. I'm never gonna see that dude in anything else.
That dude, Anthony Bourdain, for me. I was like, I don't give a shit about like any select. Like I don't know you. I'm not gonna cry over your death. But I remember Robin Williams was like, fuck, that dude killed himself.
Of all people,
sucks.
Yeah,
the world really sucks. That dude killed himself.
Yeah, Bourdain was tough for me too. I like because I always watched his show, and I just thought the guy had his mind that, in a way with words, really fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean, a chef turned writer, a brilliant writer.
And he was like a heroin addict too when he was writing that first book, just trying to get a little extra spare change, and it became a New York Times #1 bestseller. Yeah, and he's just a road jockey, like a line jockey. Like he's just working the line in New York, just fry cooking and fucking grease burning it up, looking like my arms and shit like that. Like you're just working your balls off in these kitchens for nothing, and then you write a good book and you become a fucking like what you just become this like acclaimed author and shit like that. And he was like doing dope and all this insane shit. He's living this real punk rock lifestyle. And turns that into like an amazing show that people that don't even give a fuck about food at all can sit there and watch and enjoy.
Couple of amazing shows, yeah.
And then really teach people about different cultures in a way that isn't boring. Like it isn't just every other fucking show. You watch Parts Unknown and you're like, holy shit! Like this dude. I don't think that was the first one, but you were like, this
No Reservations. I think was the first.
That's the first one, yeah. And he's making just like food porn. Like everything's just fantastic.
Really
like, the way
I
that
feel
he puts
awful saying this, but when he died, that was the first time I heard of him.
Oh, really?
Anthony Bourdain?
Yeah, that was the first time I heard of him, and I feel really bad saying that because
that's okay.
He had such an
world.
impact on people, and I'm like, how the fuck have I never heard about this guy?
Check out his show then. It's still worth a watch because it still does exactly what Cody said. I mean, it really opens your eyes to different cultures in a way that's interesting, and it's that easiest bridge is either a smile or food.
Yeah, that's. I remember actually seeing a couple episodes after he died because young Rachel, is really into stuff. So I watched it and I'm like, wow, this is pretty powerful shit. To be honest, it's kind of wild. Such a simple thing as just going out to eat and just getting to know some people.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
All right, let's get into more bullshit here in a minute. But can we take a break for about an hour?
Yep.
Ready for a cigarette? Something?
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right, guys, we're back. And as always, we're sponsored by the fantastic, the lovely, the amazing Anthony Tank Mansfield. That's Neil to No One, KNEELTONOONE.com, or Neil to No One on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you can find his shit. He makes these amazing glasses, one of which I'm drinking this nice Woodford out of.
Oh, yeah.
On one side, he's got this samurai and these swords. It's this like dope looking goblet sifter glass or whatever. He's got this Neil No One thing on there. You can buy this from him. He's doing commissions again. He's going to be at the LCTC. It's like a comic book, comic book, at a toy convention down in Louisville. I hope I didn't fuck that up. Should probably pull that up and have this ready, right? Isn't that the professional thing to do? Fucking start talking about it with no information already. But yeah, you guys know. You've
got
heard
some
this
incredible
read before.
art, some incredible clothing. Go get some artwork done. He does some incredible slaps of anything you can imagine pop culture wise.
And check him out September 7th. It goes from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. at the LCTC Fall Fan Fest. That's a Lexington Comic and Toy Con in Lexington, Kentucky. And he's going to have a booth up there probably slinging his shit. He's doing commissions again, so if you want some dope art, he does some awesome lowbrow stuff that he calls slaps. Or you take your favorite like character, your favorite wrestler, like you like the Predator, whatever the fuck your favorite, like whatever it is.
He's got it probably.
It makes
just
a nice, awesome portrait of it.
Tank, I know you're gonna listen to this. I really like your new highlighter version of Wolverine. You did him before, but you did another one recently. It looked awesome.
He's been doing a couple color pieces, which have been really cool. Yeah, super cool shit. Seriously.
He's a great guy. Go
Good
fucking
guy.
support him. He's part of your local scene. Everybody's always talking about supporting the local guys. Go and fucking buy something from him. I'm sure you need some glassware for your house. He's also got those Hop Thulu glasses. I mean, pens, they cost next to nothing. I mean, just something to support your local people. You know what I mean? And free shouts outs to Danny Babcock, new art coming from Higher Level Art. Go and fucking the part of the story that we left out that he had posted about on Facebook was after we were talking about it with the mics off. But whenever fucking he won that competition in Chicago. Somebody broke into his car and stole his laptop and stole his iPad and shit. So if you guys can, like, he's a friend of the show and he's a really good dude. Like, he's a supporter of everything local. Please go hit him up for some commissions. Oh my God, check out his art. Danny Babcock or Danny Gamble on Instagram, and fucking give this dude some money so he can replenish the stuff that he's lost, because I don't know anybody that deserves it more. And that dude's got some fucking quality stuff. Dude. Whatever you need, he'll fucking paint your baby's room. Anything art related. This man can fucking do it for sure. Yeah, go support him. Go see a Chris Siemer show. Go out there and see some local comedy. Fucking all kinds of awesome things going on right now.
Yeah.
All right, we got all of our.
Dude, that's gotta be so shitty to get your car broken into. Not only do they steal something, but you have to pay to repair your fucking car now too, man.
Yeah.
And he's such a nice dude. He said that after he won that competition, took everybody, all the other artists that were in it, out for dinner with all of his. So he didn't have any money left over from the competition to replace anything. Car window busted. You got your shit stolen. That fucking sucks. And I mean, goddamn, give him some money. Like, he'll not for don't. I mean, you could donate if you want. I'm sure he'll take free money, but like. He's a great artist. Go get something from him. Have something that you can fucking be proud of for the rest of forever.
Yeah, seriously.
And then
art lasts forever, man.
I just checked out his studio too. He had when we went over there, I gave him a little bit of cash to go get these T-shirt designs. I didn't already say this.
You did.
On the
hat?
I said this on the no, not the hat, but the he does in his gallery. He's doing like live performances for different people. Like people come out there, I think on Fridays or whatever. And he had John Hayes up there. John Hayes from Flesh Mother. We've had him on the show. He's a comedian
cool
also.
Great boy.
Doing all kinds of creative shit. That dude's fucking awesome. And he just had a photography thing go down at Danny's studio. Like there's cool stuff happening like that. Like fucking go and check that shit out. Like that's all. Yeah.
Fucking Cincinnati's got it, man. Cincinnati's got it.
Are you starting? You said you were. Do you want to talk about like podcast? Are you?
I've got an idea in the hopper. I'm in the very infant stages of it, so there's nothing I want to say about it too much right now. But I got an idea that I think, based on the people that I've talked to, it could be something that means something to some people. Hopefully,
without saying too much about it. I know you don't want to spoil your idea, but it's not like your standard podcast. Like you've got like a
self-help.
You've got a little niche thing. Like
I think it's going to be just a standard one-on-one interview, but I think I'm trying to, it's a little, I guess maybe self-help. I'm trying to look into a little bit of the psyche here a little bit, and like what kind of makes us tick and stuff like that. Because I'm kind of an emotional dude. I'm like super sensitive, and I haven't always been that way. But as I get older, it's really ramped up. So I'm trying to explore that and get to that. And maybe,
that's really awesome.
Yeah. And then every once in a while, I'd like to have some mental health professionals come on the show and analyze maybe what my answers were. I'd like to have their answers from the questions that I have, and I think the questions I have. I think they're going to mean something to somebody. They certainly mean a lot to me, so I'm hoping it'll work out.
I feel like going through like a podcast way of doing that is awesome because there's no better way of getting through self-help and just communicating with people, you know?
Yeah.
You got to get other people's perspective other than your own, and I feel like a podcast is a very intimate and great way of doing that. How often do you sit down and have a long conversation with someone about that kind of shit? Like this stuff... The podcasts are the future, man.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because you're going to do long-form interviews like that. You're not going to get that done on radio, and we're certainly not going to be able to talk the way we are, frankly and honestly.
Plus, you're an orator. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Everything that you can do to be talking more. Yeah. That's what you should be doing.
Yeah, it makes everything better. I'm thinking that with my relationship to the whole thing, it should still be light. But I'm gonna, if everything goes the way I'm hoping to, I'm going to be asking people to go, to a little bit of an uncomfortable place sometimes.
Can we talk mental health a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
What was your into like this emotional stuff? Was it like, are you an anxiety depression guy, or
I think so.
Are you just connected to it through people?
I don't know. I never knew, until maybe in the last couple of years that I had some anxiety issues for most of my life, and I'm just trying to manage it as best I can. Certainly, some days are better than others, right? But acknowledging the fact that it's there. It kind of carries me through. It certainly gives me a whole lot more compassion for other people. You don't know what other people's going through, so maybe bitch less when you're in traffic or something.
Yeah.
Well, when you have anxiety or something or depression, you just are self-aware of the whole thing. That's like taking the first step to really helping yourself. You know what you're going through. It's not like, oh, I'm having anxiety right now. This is never going to end. You're like, this is anxiety. I know what this is. Yeah. I'm going to get through it. It doesn't last forever. You know?
I mean, it's just... I can go start looking for stuff to listen to help you and just get through it one day at a time, really.
Yeah.
Or it gets to that. When on the dark days, it's get through it a minute at a time.
Well, Did you have friends real close to you that struggle with this stuff? Because most of the people that I know,
stand-up comedian, man.
Yeah, it's everyone you know.
Yeah,
you don't get to be a stand-up comedian if you're not like all your friends are just fucking suicide.
There's always something a little dark.
I don't think that's true. I mean, I think that's a lot of people. That's how we're comfortable being so frank. Because I mean, we do. I guess there's some poking fun in it, but you can't just make fun without doing the work to try and be better, because it'll just get worse. I think.
The thing that I think that I love the most about stand-up comedy is that like it allowed me to deal with the darkest moments of my life in a way that wasn't uncomfortable, sad. Like, let's sit in a room and talk about our feelings together.
Made you laugh.
Just like, this makes my butthole seal up. Yeah. But when somebody can make me laugh about somebody that I love that killed themselves, I'm like, that's what helps get me through. And if that's not everybody's thing, fine. But that's why I get defensive about it also, because I'm just like, no, this is my thing that helps me get through.
That's what you connected
to.
Yeah. That's what stand-up comedy is, man. It's all relative. So it's only for certain people. Okay, so everybody's gonna have a different opinion. I mean, I got respect for all of them, but there's certain comics or their audiences are not gonna be my audience. Cat Williams' audience did not like me, right?
Yeah.
That's okay. That's fine. But I got my audience. It's fine.
Right.
I'm just trying to build it bigger, baby.
Yeah, dude. But all those dark, uncomfortable moments kind of go one of two ways. Either like you can sink further into that darkness and it can really fucking destroy you, or you can look at it as like a way to overcome adversity. And overcoming adversity a lot of times makes you a stronger person, or it shows that you are stronger of character, that you can get through those things.
You get to think of those obstacles as like achievements. That's the way I think about those situations.
Yeah, they are after the fact.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with the space between, it's a tough one.
It's the real gray area right there.
That's why that works in stand-up comedy, though. I mean, you were made to laugh about something that really was a hurtful portion of your life or some memory, and someone built that bridge for you and made you know that you weren't alone, at least in that feeling, right? So it's important to realize, even though, like, and my divorce is a great example. I thought I'd been through the worst shit ever. I'm the only person. The podcasts are going to want to hear this story. They're going to make a movie about this. No. I'm not the first person that shit happened to, and I won't be the last. So understand that we're all not that unique. Everybody else has been through some shit that you're similar to what you've been through. So,
But on the other side of the coin, because everybody has not everybody, but a lot of people have been through that situation. A lot of people have empathy for that story. Absolutely. So then when they hear you talk about that, they're like, oh shit, like I'm not just alone in the world.
No,
like,
it's empathy. It's it's that building the bridge. We're not so far away, you and I. So, and that's all under the surface. I think there was some video I watched. It was like these LSD studies from the 50s.
Oh yeah.
And there's a guy, I cannot remember his name right now. But I wrote it down. I was like,
Timothy
oh my God.
Leary?
No, it wasn't Leary, man. It was some other guy. I can't remember his name at all. But he's basically saying, we're all connected. We're not strangers on distant islands, trying to shout at each other in language we don't understand. We're all connected under the water. So we're part of one continent, basically.
Is that John C. Lilly?
No.
Not one of the big ones, just a random
one. No, it wasn't one of the big ones.
or something?
No, none of the names you know. It didn't even sound familiar to me.
Right on, but the name's not important. The message.
But the message was really important. And I think that's all stand-up comedy does, too. It builds a bridge between us. I mean, I like I said, I'm filthy. I'm fucking dirty. But I've had shows in moose lodges where there were ladies with purple hair because they were just older women.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking this ain't gonna go well. You know what I mean? This ain't gonna go. They're not gonna like it when I start talking about eating pussy from behind.
No, they love it.
They love it.
They fucking love it.
Because
everybody treats them like
right. Do you think that they did? Well, even if they don't want to talk like that or talk about that, they're human. They've had their experiences. So
they've done more shit than most.
Right. Exactly. So it's still more relative, and it's all charisma, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying I'm a charismatic person, but I'm able to. You're
pretty charismatic.
Well, thanks, buddy. I mean, but you have to get the audience good graces before you start going into that. I've tried to open it with that stuff before. It doesn't work.
But I love the idea of it building bridges for people that have like these sorts of troubles and issues and stuff like that. Because that's a million. Like I loved comedy for sure when I was a wee little one growing up, listening to like my dad was showing me like Richard Jenny and fucking like I'm watching like Lewis Black specials and like Delirious and Raw and fucking the old Live on the Sunset Strip with Richard Pryor, and I'm watching all the good ones and shit like that, and I loved it and I loved laughing. But then like I got like my dad killed himself when I was 13, and a couple months later in the year previous, especially me and my dad would always get on like HBO or Showtime on demand or Cinemax on demand, and we just go through comedy specials and be like, whoever the fucking comedian was, we'd click on the name, it would come up, and we would decide if we liked him or not. And if we were laughing together, and we fucking liked him, and we would keep watching his specials. So after he died, a couple months went by, and I'm sitting at my mom's house, kind of still all fucked up about the situation, and I'm going through this Showtime thing, and then this thing pops up, Doug Stanhope, no refunds. And I was like, I've never heard of Stanhope. What the fuck? Who's Doug Stanhope? Like, because it wasn't one of the main fucking names, Chapelle and fucking Louis Black and the names of the 2007 or whatever. And I click on that, and everything that he was saying was making sense for my fucking 14-year-old brain at that time. His bits about suicide and like people's right to kill themselves, and like my dad had just killed him, like struck nerves with me that were just like, I'm right on point with this, and laughing the entire time. And I was like, that's when comedy stepped up to a different level from like, oh, it's not just laughing at jokes. And it can be if that's all it is for you, fine. But like that was a big fucking connection for me. Like that's why I love comedy, because it helped me get through the darkest time in my entire life.
Sorry that happened to you.
And then continued.
It's kind of a crazy.
Talk about 12 years
It's a
ago.
bummer, man. But
how
that's great. That's so nice to hear that this little slice of art, if you want to call it that, really
helps him connect.
Yeah,
that's so wholesome.
And same for you. You had that horrific divorce. You made it sound horrific. Like,
it was that. It was definitely
fucking
that,
suck balls. And you're like, I'm gonna go balls deep into this new hobby and like figure this out. And then that becomes a new bridge to something, life becoming better for you.
That's a genesis. Like I said, I don't remember my life before it hardly. So it might be time to like either get rid of all the divorce stuff. Like I said, I rarely do it. You know, I rarely do it. So I'm not nearly as connected to it anymore. So if I'm gonna do like some big recording and put that on there, then which I'd like to do, if I'm gonna record an album, I'd definitely like that stuff to be on there because it's important to whatever comedy career I have or will have.
Right.
I'd like that to be on there, but I'd like it to be sharp and good and real, you know, and add to it now. Go back and start doing it all again, which is going to take being on the road because you can't just keep doing all that shit around here. People know it. But I wanted it to get better. And honestly, I'd probably dedicate that first album to those two people.
That's awesome, man.
It wouldn't have happened without them.
It's so weird where life takes you.
That's really in a fucking really. It's almost sick and twisted, but it's almost beautiful. Like there's some type of
there's a little bit of bit of that in it too. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's a little bit of that in it too. Make sure you listen to all of it. Dedicated to you. Yeah. Thank you. But one of those.
Fuck you a little bit.
Yeah, really listen.
There's going to be about a 20-minute chunk of this you ain't going to feel so great about.
But it's all for you.
Yeah.
So you don't think you would ever have gotten into comedy if that didn't happen to you? Is what you're saying?
That was a big kick in the ass, man.
Yeah, it's one of the most stressful things a human can go through from what I've read. Yeah. And I believe that, absolutely. I know plenty of people that have gone through divorces. Yeah. And they're not the same person anymore.
Well, I'd thought about doing this for like a half a year before that, but didn't have any motivation to go out and try it or do anything, or didn't even really know where to start. But
it just like pushed you. You're like,
what the hell was I going to do then?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What the hell else was I going to do?
Why not?
Yeah. Oh, you're going to boo me on stage? I don't give a fuck.
The worst thing already happened. Like, what the fuck? It cannot get worse.
Right. It's kind of just interesting how, like, that situation was kind of like, in a weird way, a blessing in disguise.
Oh, 100%.
Like, look at you. Said you don't even remember, like really life before that. Look at you now. You're, like, totally blooming on the whole idea of just this is, like, your passion. This is what you want to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. So
it's that whole... thing, you don't know what the plan is, and some things leave to make room for other things. I get all that now, but it's, still when you're in the middle of it, that shit sucks.
Yeah, it's horrific.
Fuck yeah.
But but life is absolutely 150% better. That's
all that matters, man.
That's probably a moderate number too, because my life is fantastic now.
Dude, that's fucking great, though. You bounce back, and now it's like you get this whole fucking thing. That's seriously kind of inspiring.
I like the thing that you said about empathy, too. Like, as you get older, you get more empathy for people. Because I feel that, and I'm only about to be 26, but still pretty young. 20 anything is pretty fucking young, I feel like. And I grew up kind of fast.
You're a father, is that what is right?
Yeah.
Well, that'll put you in the fast lane on empathy real quick, brother.
Oh, definitely. And I didn't have as much when I was younger, and that's what I've started to realize. Like, when I was real young, like... people would talk about these horrific stories all the time, and I'm just like, I don't give a fuck at all. I don't care they're like, oh, they were just like school shootings were just happening. Where, like, I'm sure it happened a time or two before the Dylan Klebold went all crazy at
Do you
Columbine.
care about that shit now?
When I was in school, I was like, whatever, give a fuck at all. Like, I had no empathy for other human beings, like, being in a really bad situation, because I didn't care about other people. I didn't care about anybody but myself.
Well, that doesn't seem like who you are now.
Yeah, and then you start to get older, and you start to, like, really, like, I remember none of that shit ever bothered me until, like, that Sandy Hook thing happening, and then I had to, like, walk away from the TV to keep from crying, and I'd been, like, 18. I was like, whoa, where are these feelings for other people that I don't know at all coming from? And then, it, like, shit like that kept happening. Now it's, like, to a point where I used to be able to watch those crazy gore videos that everybody was fucking, like, when we were kids. They're
tough.
BME Pain Olympics. The dude sawing his cock off and throwing it on a cactus and beheading video. I could watch it all fine. Now I watch it and I'm just like, I can't.
36,
like,
he's made my stomach turn.
I bet that's weird.
Yeah, it makes your whole fucking, like, and it is strange because I had such a, like, I felt so callous growing up.
Yeah.
And I thought that the things that happened to me were going to make me more callous, but exactly the opposite happened. Like, losing more people.
Yeah.
Losing a bunch of people to, like, drug overdoses and suicides and fucking
or even just any kind of
everything
loss
else.
or any kind of rejection, man. It's like, oh, I need some help. I need someone. I need a hug.
For sure.
Yeah, man.
And then you see that in other people and you start to really, like, really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to, like, see how different your perspective on things are once you actually have, like, your own child. I feel like even watching movies where you see, like, a kid get hurt or something, it's gonna be like, oh, I can't watch. That's someone's kid.
I mean, I'm raising Ari right now. She might as well.
Do you feel that way at all? Like when you see, like, now, like, when you watch movies or some shit or whatever, and you see, like, kids get hurt or whatever, you're like,
I've never liked that. Even when I was younger, I just never liked it when people would take advantage. That was the one thing that I did have empathy for my whole life, because I got bullied when I was young a lot. So it's like when I became a big 6 foot tall fucking stocky individual and gave a lot less of a fuck, like, I don't know, like, hit me in the face, I'm gonna hit you harder. And then got that attitude, like, stop getting bullied real fast when people realize that you're willing to fight back. But then, like, it gave me a lot of empathy for weaker people and, like, weirdos and outcasts and fucking like people on the fringes and children especially. Like, I just always, like, I don't like that stuff at all, like stuff where. And also, I don't feel like they're playing a card when they do that in a movie, because it's like, oh, fuck your fake movie. Like, this isn't really happening. Like, you don't have to have the kid in there getting killed.
There was,
like, God damn it.
If you want to talk about over the top bully scenes, the Shazam came out this year, right?
I haven't seen it yet.
There's
I want to see it.
Well, I'm gonna spoil this bully scene.
It's fine.
There's a crippled kid in this film, right? He's got the canes. He's got for both of his arms.
And crippled sticks, we call them.
He's walking. And the bullies of the film come up and just hit him with their truck, and he goes down hard on the sidewalk of their school, and then they get out and they start beating him up because he dented their truck in front of all these kids.
They
and
go
teachers.
so
like,
obnoxious
what
in
the
movies
fuck
sometimes.
just happened? They ran this kid over, then got out and beat the crippled kid up for denting their car.
By the way, Luke, they don't go by the crippled anymore. I don't. What kind of 1950s parents were you raised by? I don't know that they're called the crippled. Keep going though. I'm sorry.
And
I think it's hilarious that you keep calling them cripples, but keep going. Yeah, that scene, they always go over the top in a movie. Like, there's always some fucking underwear in the middle of an ass crack in the middle of it being stuffed into a locker. I'm like, what kind of fucking psychopaths were running your school? No way this was ever going on.
Or like Forrest Gump, where they're trying to run him over with a car.
Yeah,
or some shit.
I thought the kid in Bad Santa really hurt my feelings.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Wait, what happened
worst.
there? I forgot.
He was, you know, in that first movie, like, the people were throwing cans at him and shit, and he had, like, chocolate ice
He's a
cream
little
on his face.
goofball,
Yeah,
and he's just walking around all fat, and he kind of looks happy almost, and he just wants to see Santa, and he's way too old to believe in Santa the whole time. His belly's coming over his shirt, and he's just a kid and shit, and he's walking around just getting fucked with to no end. But
I'm
there's
sympathetic to that.
There's a couple good scenes where you get because Billy Bob Thornton plays Bad Santa, and he's dressing up as if you don't remember the movie, he's dressing up as a mall Santa. He's a complete alcoholic fucking bank robber. The only reason he's playing Santa with his little person friend is so that they can eventually figure out where the safe's at in the place and fucking break in at the end. And he's playing Santa in between. He's getting fucking blackout drunk, pissing on himself and stuff. And then this big fat kid becomes a part of his life because he's like, oh, Santa, I want you to come home with me. And he comes home with the little kid and realizes, like, oh, shit, he's just living here with grandma. Both his parents are dead. And he's like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to live here now. But then he slowly starts to like the kid over time, and he sees them fucking with this kid outside. He comes out and just starts beating the dog shit out of some 12-year-olds. Just kicks the shit out of him in the middle of a mall parking lot. And the whole time you're like, fuck yeah, like, yes. Just like, I just like a good vengeance scene every once in a while.
Hell yes.
I don't know that that's what empathy should be teaching you. Vengeance. I think that I've flipped the script on my entire thing that I was trying to say in the emotional part of the podcast, let's call it. I like that concept though, like doing that, but that can be heavy air for sure for a while, like breaking that up.
Yeah, man.
Luckily, you're a comedian.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna go deep, hopefully, but we're gonna lighten it up and kind of. We're not gonna sit in it too long.
Right. I love the concept. Like, I don't know the full concept, obviously. I don't want to talk about too much, but, like, just anything in that mental health, like, ballpark. Because I care a lot about that shit. Yeah. Like, it means it's impacted my life tremendously. Like, I
want everybody, but I'm especially interested in guys' perspective on this. It's not like it's just a boys' club. It's not that at all, but, it'll make sense when I give all the details out.
No, I got you. Whenever you get that started up, dude, fucking
re-promote
if you
want to. I
really
appreciate it. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. I'll let you know. We're almost there. We're almost there.
Fuck yeah, dude! I can't wait to see that. Like Pat's been saying this whole time. I can't wait to see more local like podcasts in the area. Like
Rand's got a good one.
Rumble Lips. By the free shouts outs to Rumble Lips. I've been listening recently as a every week listener, and fantastic.
Hilarious.
Just to listen to him sit there, Bill Burr style, talk to himself or with a guest. He has guests every once and again, but the last couple have just been him sitting there. Bill Burr style, talking into a microphone, just fucking going for it from an hour plus of free content. Go check out Rumble Lips. It's always funny. That dude's just got a funny way to talk. He's got a funny cadence about him. Everything that he says sounds like a joke, but not like he's running jokes past you. Like, this is just how he thinks.
Yeah.
Like, if you've listened to him on this podcast, you'll love that podcast. Go check out Rumble Lips. Sorry, Luke. You were going to say something. I interrupted wildly. What were you going to say?
No, that was it.
Okay. Yeah, but there needs to be more local podcasts. It really does. It's so much fun. It's such a fun thing to do.
Yeah, there's more people getting into it now. It's just, you gotta have a unique idea.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
That's why I've been doing stand up for 7 years. Is why I haven't had one yet. If I'm gonna do something like this, it's not just gonna be to stroke my own dick and have people not listen.
Right.
I want to have a point, and I want it to be something that's close to me. And I think what I got coming up is really that.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. This one feels kind of like dick stroking. Like, fucking, we just have the bastard sermon just to talk to cool people, but it's kind of cool to, almost the point is to solidify these cool conversations with people that I've got to meet, and we've all got to meet, and keep them, like, on wax for forever. Yeah. Like, you can show your kids, like, here's what I was into at this age in my life. Like, or anybody that cares to know anything about, this place at this time.
This
like,
is
we
the
got
shit
to
I
talk
talked
to so
about.
many cool fucking people through this show. And it's like, that's almost the point, more so than, like, having a real concept. Because I remember you were hitting me up asking, like, is there anything I should prepare for? And I don't know how to tell, like, I don't fucking know. No. We just sit down and have a conversation.
That's
don't be offended by shit.
That's why I just come in and let's start talking.
But I mean, I definitely think I think the most important thing about this whole thing that I do is like it's just so intimate. And I've never thought I would do certain things that I've done or met or been a part of and gotten to reconnect with other people and stuff and just reminisce. It's quite a weird experience. It's really really cool. Yeah.
Building bridges.
I think everybody should do it. Everybody just, if you're thinking about doing it, just fucking do it. Just pull the trigger.
Or don't. I don't know.
Or don't.
I mean, don't oversaturate the fuck out of the market. But if you really have something you want to say, fucking do it and connect with us. Let's have you on. Let's talk about it.
Come on the show.
I want to get as many fucking cool people on as possible. I'm happy that we've been able to have more comedians on too. Like, it's cool to get connected to this like Cincinnati comedy scene that we didn't even really know was fucking happening.
Burgeoning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude.
So like, how many different places? I mean, I'm sure you've played at like, would you say hundreds of places or that you've performed at?
Probably.
What was the coolest venue you played at or performed at? I keep saying played. I'm sorry, performed at.
I mean, there's been so many. That are just really unique venues that are really cool places to be, and there's sometimes these things happen in spaces you wouldn't think, like a comic book shop in Chicago. Did a show there.
That's interesting.
I think my favorite place that I've ever done, I put a show together that I headlined a few years back out where I'm from. It's out in the country, out in Brown County, Ohio. It's in Georgetown. It's in this old ass theater, man. When I was in high school, I did the Pirates of Penzance in that fucking theater. And then I did comedy for like 300 people in there in my hometown, and it's an old theater, man. It's like an old vaudeville theater. Got a little pitch to the stage.
That's fucking awesome.
And I did like 50 minutes in front of people that get where I'm coming from, just from being in that little section of.
You said you're from Brown County?
Yeah,
Brown County's just all farms and shit,
Ohio.
right?
Yeah.
It just floods all the time, and there's a dickload of farmland. Everybody's shooting guns.
Yeah.
Every house is miles apart. I grew up camping in places like that because my dad was a machinist, had some friend from Brown County.
Sure.
Had 1 million acres, whatever the fuck it was, cows. There's a bee farm on the thing. And we're just fucking blowing shit up with homemade fireworks.
Sure.
By homemade fireworks, I mean borderline pipe bombs and shit. Luckily, my dad's dead because all the stories I've told about him on this, he would be in he'd be in Guantanamo Bay right now for the shit that he taught me how to do growing up. We're making exploding balloons and fucking taking air, like CO2 air cartridges and filling them with black powder and going dynamite fishing. I'm 8 years old, so I don't feel like I'm culpable for this shit anymore. But in case I am, these are fictional stories. But,
all jokes here.
We'd go and shoot guns, and he was a machinist, so he'd make fucking illegal silencers.
Yeah.
Or like mill out a silencer on a CNC machine, stick them in the guns, and we'd be shooting them over on his friend Eric's farm and shit like that. Did you grow up in like a real farm like area, like doing real hard ass work?
Yeah.
Dude, go into
Tell
that.
us-
What is?
tell us
can
about
we,
it.
Do you have any fucking
didn't really-
stories?
The best and worst
My
parts
family's
about it.
all farmers, but I mean, I had a horse. I didn't do any real agriculture except for helping like plant tobacco and shit like that, strip tobacco.
You can't
Sucks.
say I didn't really do no agriculture. I mean,
Well,
we grew tobacco and we stripped it and we dried it out.
I
We made
didn't-
cigars by hand. But
Yeah, I mean, that tobacco shit sucks, man. I mean,
What do you mean?
it's such a fucking hard job to go out there and do it. Planting it, and then you got to go out there, and then you got to cut it, and then you got to fucking put it on these goddamn stalks, and you fucking spear your fucking hand. Then
why?
you got to
Are
hang it in a
Are
barn.
they sharp?
Yeah, so you get these like tobacco sticks, just these just wooden sticks, and then on top of it you have this like metal cone that's got a fucking point at the top of it, right? And you got to take the plant, you got to cut it at the stalk, and the stalk is sometimes that big around, and then you got to jam that thing over that stick. So you get like 6 or 7 plants on there, and then you take that stick, toss it on the wagon, and you got to hang that in the barn to dry it.
I'm sweating
so
just
much
thinking
work.
about
That's
that.
exactly
not worth
That's
it.
just one part of it. That's just cutting.
How do people figure this shit out?
But how much goddamn money can you make off this? Is it enough to sustain your family farm?
I don't know, man. I'd probably not. There's something called a tobacco base that people can only have so much tobacco. Like they can only grow so much. So like when I was a kid, we bought a place that had like a little bit of farm on it. They had a little bit of tobacco base, and my dad just gave it to my grandpa so he could do more.
Did you ever go patty flipping as a kid, looking for magic mushrooms or anything like that?
Nah, man, but I definitely kicked over a bunch of cow shit. I mean, I wasn't looking for mushrooms. Nothing about eating shitty mushrooms ever sounded good to me as a kid.
Did you know a bunch of people
Well,
that
you
had a bunch
flipped
of
them.
illegal pot farms and stuff?
I don't think there was ever.
What do you mean you flipping the shit?
I mean, you just kick fucking turds.
Big
I mean,
giant turds over.
Yeah,
You
man,
just
you
go
kick
up
them at
there
your
and
buddies and
kick 'em.
shit. Yeah.
Pretend you're in Jurassic Park in that one scene. You reach in there, you
That's a
pull
lot
out
of
big
shit.
wad
You
of
just
corn.
kick them at people, man. That's where you party is in fields and you're from the country.
how you had
dude.
fun.
Did you ever go
back
cow
then.
tipping?
Never did that shit.
Did you ever have some friends?
Is it true that would kill them?
I don't think so, no.
Like they're just their own weight can't
But
support.
they might get up and kick the shit out of you, so I
Good
ain't
luck.
fucking around with a 1,000-pound cow, bud.
That
No
seems like
way.
a real bad idea.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I was in 4-H and shit like that. So like the county fair and all that, which is coming up. I'm still loved out there.
I know you're sliding past it because you're like, whatever. I mean, it's just
Well, it's
shit that
just-
we all did. But
Yeah, it is.
yeah, it's interesting.
we don't know about it. No, I didn't
Yeah.
grow up on no farm.
Yeah, I get it. I mean,
Suburbs.
I didn't really grow up on a farm. I just had them in my family. It wasn't ever really something that I did all that much, but it would help out every once in a while.
They make you ever like give birth to a calf?
No,
Ever?
well, I would never give birth to a calf. You say, have I ever birthed a calf? And that's
Chris,
no.
we need your help in here.
No, we had horses, but I'll tell you what. One thing that I always did every summer, it fucking sucked, was you had to go out because we had horses. You had to go out and get hay. So the deal is, if you want to go pay less for your hay, you got to go out.
Harvest your own goddamn hay.
Well, I mean, you go out with someone who has a big ass hay field, and then you go help them, right? So you got to go
Like a scythe?
They go out and clip
I'll
it.
pay you a bundle an hour.
They cut it, they rake it, and then they bale it. And then as they're baling it, like square bales, that baler is in between the trailer and the tractor. So it's picking up all the hay, baling it, and it's just shooting bales out onto the trailer. You got to stack those fuckers up, big. I mean, like 16 high. Then you got to take it to the damn barn and loft those fuckers up into the hay loft.
That's some hard-ass fucking work.
It is really hard when you're 12 years old. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fucking 10, 11, 12 years old, and I'm, it's okay when you're at the top of the wagon, but when you get down to the bottom of the wagon where it's like, we're almost done, you've been doing this for 2.5, 3, 4 hours, trying to launch these goddamn hay bales up into the fucking top of a barn. It's just as hard as you think it is.
I would just be fucking figuring out.
I'm thinking back on it, like, how did I even get that done?
Because they're kind of heavy, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, they're heavy. Have you ever grabbed a hay bale before?
I think so.
They're pretty heavy.
Those motherfuckers are not light.
They're not terribly heavy, but you start
do
fucking
you
launching
them up,
do it
right?
for 3 hours. They'll get a
There
bit
it is.
heavy.
Lug them.
Yeah, you got to just fucking
Plus,
launch
they're
them.
sizable, so it's not like
Yeah.
that they're super heavy, that they're awkward, and then you got to, like, toss them up. Yeah,
Yeah, you
I'm
gotta
wondering
wear
how you got
gloves.
this shit done at 12, too.
And it's hot as shit. You got to wear gloves so you don't fuck up your hands. You got to grab those the twine.
You got, like,
Stray
corn
hay.
mites on you or something
Cuts
fucked
ya.
up.
Yeah, then maybe
Mice running out of them, shitting all over your shoes.
Then maybe one day you find out you're allergic to it the hard way. I mean,
Yeah.
that never happened to me, unfortunately, but I didn't want to keep doing that shit.
Yeah, fuck all that. I would
man.
just be figuring out plans the whole time. Like, how the fuck do I never come back here ever?
There ain't one, baby. There ain't one. I had to do it. I mean, living out there, it's all part of it.
Are you one of them city folk now?
I
City
mean,
fault.
I don't know. I mean, the older I get, the more I kind of look back on that life as a lot easier. I mean, you get a lot of land and stuff like that out there, but I don't want to be so far away from every goddamn thing.
Yeah, that's the worst part
Yeah,
of
that
it.
part sucks.
No,
You
I
have
like
horse?
where I live, man. I live down in Mount Lookout. I love where I live.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll come do comedy over at Go Bananas. I'll be there in 3 hours.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. I mean, it's and then you can't have any brews with the friends afterwards. You gotta.
You guys want to drive 25 minutes to my place?
Yeah, because you gotta fucking like drive to basically Chicago.
It's an hour. It was an hour every way from where I was.
Man,
Fuck
it takes
that, bro.
goddamn forever to get
Yeah,
out there.
yeah. My mom and dad.
It's worth it though. There's some really beautiful land out there. I don't mean
Oh,
like
yeah.
shit all over.
No, it is. It's very beautiful, and that definitely has influenced who I am. Whatever my comedy is, it's all from there. If you see my comedy, there's certain little isms and words I say. It's from those people out there, man. It's from that culture that I come from. And there's actually a very dear friend of mine is a Cincinnati musician as well. His name's Noah Smith. Does country music. He's from Brown County as well. He was actually in my wedding. He's always been one of my buddies. So great musician. He's always working around here, and he's doing a lot of work down in Nashville as well. So
That's awesome.
check him out too.
Everybody's moving to Nashville too. That's a
I
competitive
don't know that he's
game.
necessarily moving, man. He's just on
Still
the road
around
down
here?
there. Yeah, well, he lives out in Mount Orr, Brown County.
Nashville's really becoming the new fucking city to hang in.
Well,
isn't
it's certainly
It's a
if you
music
want
capital of the world, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, goddamn, I went out there to go see Maiden one time, and this is just fucking everybody's out
Yeah.
there. I went and saw Maiden and Ghost. It was a fantastic show down at the Bridgestone or whatever, and there's a fuckload of people, just not even just there for the concert, but just there for everything, to go to any just random bar to go see country music.
It's for music, and it's a capital. You
Food,
know?
there's Peg Leg
Lots of good
Porkers
food.
and
Yep.
a bunch of good places to eat down there. It's a cool spot.
Yeah, I still haven't been. I want to get down there.
Oh, I thought
You've
you
never
were
been?
saying.
Nope.
Oh, it wasn't you that was. Oh, sorry.
Dude, I'm
you
going
said
to-
Asheville.
I'm going to
North
Asheville
Carolina.
next
Okay.
week, yeah.
I thought you said you went to Nashville. See, that's how.
I'm going
Goddamn
to
whiskey.
Chicago for the first time in like 2-3 weeks.
Oh, you're going to have a great time.
Never
I
been
have
there?
no idea what to expect. What should I do? Do I
You
need
could-
to see the bean and flick it, or
You
eat
should.
beans?
You
by
can
the
do the
bean?
touristy shit, but really, just like, do you have any? Are you going up there? Do you know any friends up there?
I'm Canyon Manfredo. Canyon Manfredo's in Chicago.
Well, besides,
You don't
those
know that.
friends,
There's always going to be a comedy show in every direction, more than likely.
there's good
yeah.
food everywhere. The
Is
fantastic.
the pizza
food.
worth it? That's the main thing.
I
I'm
don't-
I'm stoked.
I don't
for.
fuck with
Fine.
I don't really fuck with the deep dish pizza. It's just too much.
Goddamn
much?
pizza.
Stop by
man.
Portillo's, get yourself an Italian beef, extra gravy.
Portillo's is fantastic.
Get the hot and the sweet peppers on there. It's gonna fucking change it.
Portillo's is so good.
It's real good.
Yeah, it's a
How
fantastic
my mouth
spot.
just started water.
Right next to the
fucking
Rock and
hungry
Roll
now.
McDonald's. There's a crazy. Don't go to the Rock and Roll McDonald's, but it's right next to there.
Rock and
See
Roll
some of this shit
McDonald's?
from your car. Yeah, they call it the Rock and Roll McDonald's. Is big.
What the fuck does that
It
mean?
used to be a
Gigantic.
different place. I think it's a different building now, but it's still the same place.
Yeah, they've
Right
got
next
a
to the
big
Rainforest Cafe.
old school car out there and all this shit. And
But
right
it's a
next
McDonald's.
To Portillo's.
It's still just a McDonald's, yeah.
There's some
The fuck?
staples.
That's so
we
stupid.
did the pizzeria Uno Dues thing and went and got deep dish, and it was fine. It was better than I expected, but it was just kind of like, it's fucking pizza.
It was like a 25-pound pizza too.
But then my uncle lives in the Ukraine village, so like we got
Beautiful
to stay at
part of town. Beautiful.
fantastic.
For Chicago.
And he's got a really nice place out there that he's had for 15 years or whatever, and we stayed over there went out and you can take a bus straight because the street, there's a main drag that goes all the way down to the north side where you can get the Millennium Park and all that shit. But fuck that. In the Ukraine Village, there's every amazing Euro shop that you could ever go and get the best Euro of your entire life with some nice fucking amazing tzatziki sauce. You could do that here, but like they're gonna do it better in fucking Chicago for sure. I got the best Euros of my life over there. They had this amazing oh man, it's been so long since I've been up there. Some type of Asian food. I don't remember exactly what it was, but they had like lettuce rolls and like this really good like scallops with like a mango chutney over the top of it. And I was just like, God damn! And it was just right around the corner. You just walk around in different neighborhoods around there and just find some shit.
Go to a towny bar, man. Just hang out.
Go to a bar. Go figure out who the cool people are at that bar.
So what's up, guys?
Chit chat. See if they got the Chicago accent. If they do, start asking them where they hang out.
I'm the Big Cheese. What's your name?
No, ask that's seriously.
Good thing
go
about
ask
Chicago,
locals where to hang out.
Chicago is a really great hub where like a bunch of people from the Midwest have moved to because they like art and culture and entertainment and things like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people you run into out there are kind of like us.
I wish I've explored more of the West Coast. I've never gone that far over there.
It's not free to get out there.
It's money.
Dollar bills,
yeah, free to get out there. I mean, if it was, I'd go every day if I could. But
what was
Did
that?
you love LA when you were out there?
Yeah, you never really told me like how that was.
I didn't really spend much time out there. I was only out there for like a week, you know.
Just a week? Like you were in hotels and shit?
No, I was at my buddy's place.
Oh man, you lucked out.
Yeah,
Did you go to Comedy Mecca?
Well, we went. I don't remember where I went to. But
the store or whatever.
Well, we went there, but I signed up for like an open mic. It was like I said, I was like a year in at that point.
Like the potlucks that they do up there.
Yeah. Well, it was like a lottery open mic, but there was like 70 or 80 people that showed up to sign up for 15 3-minute spots. That was the second time I went. I'm sorry. That was like a year in.
Gotcha.
But you know, it's not a whole lot. I mean, you gotta go out there with knowing some fucking people if you're gonna try and do comedy out there. Otherwise, you're just gonna do it with mics and.
What are your favorite cities to go to? Just to like fuck the comedy, just to go to, just for enjoyment.
Well, comedy's always tied to it, so I can't say fuck the comedy because it is still always tied to me. But like Chicago for sure.
I love Chicago.
I love Indianapolis, man.
Stoked.
Really?
I love Indianapolis, dude. I got a lot of friends out there. There's good comics out there, and I've done good shows.
But the weed laws are crazy. You can't go smoke weed in fucking Indianapolis.
What happens? You go to jail?
You'll go to jail for like 3 years. For
what?
weed.
You go to fucking jail for 3 fucking years?
It's like biblical Jerusalem over in fucking Indianapolis. Like, what the fuck? I'm going to get stoned to death for a joint? This is insanity.
I'm literally being stoned.
That bothers me. I like to smoke some weed.
No, I get that. I just think you just can't do it in like the middle of the street and probably not going to fuck with you.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's got bigger fish to fry, I think, than that.
But what's cool in Indianapolis right now? What's going on?
I don't know, man. They got a new comedy club out there, Helium.
Danny Babcock painted that motherfucker.
Right. I mean,
huge
they got Crackers.
Fantastic.
Crackers is a good club as well. That's been there for a long time. But Helium's got a lot of steam, man. And they're getting really good acts. They've got 2 rooms there. They got a smaller upstairs room. It's fantastic. And yeah, Danny did the back mural. It's great.
And now he's got there's some video with like 1 million views on it looking at his back mural. No one ever knows the people that paint that stuff. Danny fucking Babcock's out there painting the backs of like comedy stages. Like that's fantastic.
Great.
So weird that someone as talented as him is doing some artwork for us.
So
awesome, he's super good.
Yeah,
seriously, go get some fucking art from that guy.
And that's what all this is about, right? Yeah. Meeting people that you have a like-minded interest in and supporting each other.
Man, that's the whole thing.
Yeah. It really is the whole thing. Just connecting the community.
Do you want to get into some? We got like 20 minutes left. Do you want to get into some weirdness?
Let's get some weird shit.
I got like 10 minutes.
You got 10 minutes. All right.
We're gonna watch a 24-year-old Russian dentist remove his own wisdom tooth.
I'm like, let me get that can over here. I might throw the fuck up.
Wait, what?
I might throw the fuck out.
All right. Go ahead.
All right, hit play. Let's see what we got.
I mean, let's just see. I mean,
I don't like that.
People used to do surgery on themselves.
I don't like seeing the inside of mouths like that.
He's really going for it too. Where is this, in Siberia? Oh, Russia.
Oh, dude, he's doing like a whole fucking incision.
Oh no, he's giving himself the fucking shot, the local anesthetic, right?
The Novocaine?
Oh no, he just pulled it out. No. Ooh.
Oh, he did it.
Oh goddamn! And you're just over here looking at your phone, not going through this with us. That's terrible.
Come on, Luke. You gotta do this, bud.
Dude, that's gonna be so fucking hard to do.
Oh,
he's shaking and shivering. He just fucking made an incision in the back of his area where the wisdom teeth are.
I'm just listening to the sounds, and I don't care.
He's pulling apart the incision. He pulled out a wisdom tooth.
I'm with you. Oh god damn
dude,
it.
what a fucking savage though. This dude probably Save some pussy for the rest of us, bro.
Oh yeah, no.
Some beat up Siberian.
Fuck dentist shit. He did this shit on himself, man.
Why do we do this to every comic that shows up? We did this to Rand. We showed Rand somebody get hit in the face with a tree, which is fine until they show the aftermath. The whole face is split open.
Imagine
he was
this.
like, "Oh Jesus Christ, we've done this to every comic now."
Yeah.
The last 10 minutes, we're gonna make him throw
Yeah.
up. Come on now.
So,
That hurt.
dude, have you ever had like fucking serious dental work though?
I had my fucking wisdom teeth removed. I didn't.
They
see
put me
it, though.
all the
I was
way to
under.
sleep.
I was under.
Isn't that weird as fuck that you just go? I've only been to sleep one time ever for like any kind of surgery, medical procedure, and it was for my wisdom teeth. I got all 4 removed.
I'm sorry.
And
sorry,
it
Chris.
was
Yeah, I got
awful. And I remember just, I passed the fuck out. I was literally laughing from the laughing gas. It was so weird.
Yeah.
And then like they counted back, and then I woke up and I felt fucked up.
Fuck yeah, because you were fucked up. You were on
Yeah, I
drugs,
was totally
dude.
fucked up. But apparently like I was waking up like thanking them all and shit.
Sure.
Like I don't remember what the fuck I was saying. Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
the fuck was I doing? But I remember
Trying
it's
to
just
sell 'em
so
all
weird
weed.
to think that you've been passed out for some time with your jaw wide open with some people in there with some utensils,
Fingers.
like
Fucking
fingers
fingers.
in your mouth, saying God knows what.
Very few fingers in this world I want in my mouth.
Well, we've only got 2 more self-surgery videos, and then we'll... He's like, I think I got more like 30 seconds left.
Yeah, no more self-fucking
Nah,
surgery.
we won't make you do that.
You're talking about getting... I've only been out that one time, too, but I have been knocked out in a fight, but only once.
Ooh, what happened?
What happened?
Let's go for that story.
I got knocked out twice that night.
Same fight?
Same fight.
Seriously?
What?
Yeah, man, I'm not...
What happened?
I'm not
What?
much of a protector.
Can we talk about this?
Yeah, big... It was New Year's
Defending
Eve.
my mother's honor, and then he beat the
No,
dog shit out
He
of me.
called my mother. Oh.
New Year's Eve.
And he
I
was right, apparently.
New Year's Eve was amateur night, and I was out in front of my bar where all my friends are, and there's a big fight that broke out. On one side is, all the staff and my friends, and on the other side is a bunch of mouth-breathing rednecks, and they kind of look like the Jets and the Sharks. The 2 groups getting closer and closer. And these girls that I know that work at the bar are trying to break it up, and then one of them shoves her. And that was my guy. That was my size. Had his shirt off, neck tattoo. I was like, that's my fucking guy. When all this shit goes off, that's my guy.
That's my dude.
So
He's got a
shoved
neck
her.
tattoo because he's
So he
actually
shoved
a
her.
pussy.
So right away, what I come in with the titty shove. Yeah, I gave him one of those.
Little stiff
Yeah.
arm poke.
Yeah. But
Did you make that Bruce Lee noise? When
I
you did
didn't.
it?
Well, I didn't count on his 2 buddies that were bigger on each side, just giving me speed knots on each side of my head as I came in. So I went down, and I kind of, I came back to as I kind of hit the ground. So I got up, and I was wearing, I was dressed up. I was wearing like dress shoes and slacks. And like I got up, and it was still, it was cold. I was cold. There was snow and all this shit. I got up, and I like charged back into the pile, and I was slipping and sliding, trying to get back in. And they just fucking waited for me and got me with another one. Sent me to the ground again. That time I
like how you
stayed
did
there.
the cartoon wind up. As you
Yeah,
were
that's
saying
what
it.
it felt like. Because I was just coming in with a head full of steam. He's like, okay. And then I went down. Like I said, at that time I stayed down because the ground wasn't the problem. It was the trip to the ground that was causing me all my
Did
issues.
you go to like the hospital or anything?
No, I went to urgent care the next day.
Were you fucked up?
They split. There was when I fell, I landed on my kneecap here on my left side, and they split it open pretty good. So when I got home, I noticed that it split all the way to the cap. I
Do you
could see
consider
it.
self-surgery?
No, I just cleaned it out and went to sleep. And then the next day, I was like, they're like, well, at least you clean it out. But we waited too long to stitch it, so it's like that now, and it is like that now.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, man. That was the only time I ever got. And then just recently, I kind of blacked out because I got hit by lightning.
What the
What?
fuck?
Why
Hold on a
are
minute.
you just now telling
didn't
us this at
open with
the
this
end of the
story?
podcast?
You didn't open with, "Hi, I'm Chris Siemer." Yeah.
I was struck by
comedy.
lightning.
Anyways, last week.
Well, okay, I'm here, right? I didn't get struck directly by lightning, and also
What's here? Tell me.
I'm here right now. I'm not, I'm not dead.
You're a miracle man.
Well, I mean,
did you get cool superpowers?
A lady just died 2 days ago walking at Spring Grove Cemetery. She got struck by lightning.
In Spring Grove Cemetery?
And
But
some say she was weak of character. Not Chris Siemer.
She got actually hit by the bolt. See, I was.
Are you fucking serious? That
She
happened?
did, yeah.
Chris absorbed the bolt.
I didn't
Turned
do
it
that.
into-
No. I'm on my patio and like there's an overhang, right? And I have my like plastic chairs out. It started to rain, so I was like, "Oh, I'll get those." And I pulled them back to the glass door there, and as I turned around to like walk back into the apartment, and as I was coming back in, like lightning struck a transformer on the street. It was like I don't know, call it like 50 yards away
Loud
from
as
me.
fuck, I bet.
Oh, loud as fuck, bright like a flashbang grenade, like Call of Duty shit. Couldn't. And then when I came to, I was like trying to climb up the fucking like glass window, just and I was blind. No, I was shaking and shit. I pissed on myself a little tiny bit. Like I thought I honestly, dude, I thought, damn, did that scare you so bad that you pissed on yourself a little bit? But I was telling my buddy Chris Siemer about the story, and he was like, no, dude, that you got hit by lightning. That happened to me. I hit a sign when I was playing putt-putt golf with my dad, and he said, we all went down.
The fact
fuck?
Do you know one fucking person got hit by lightning is crazy to me. You are connected to another man that's been hit by lightning before?
Yeah, we're
match the lightning stars
you guys do
together.
comedy
and we're tight pals too. He's one of my favorite people in the world.
That's a weird ass coincidence.
Yeah.
Bank on the fact that you were the only person I knew at all for the rest of my life that got hit by lightning directly, at least.
It's scary as fuck, man.
Yeah.
I've had like 4 close calls.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm gonna
I was
get
outside
struck.
playing golf in the rain.
No, there was like one time.
happened?
I have another buddy that's a
Tell
good
your
buddy.
story.
That he was.
How many
he was a
people do you
golfer.
know that got hit by lightning?
At least
Chris?
two. At least two. And
your
he was
story.
golfing in high school, and he was carrying his bag, and the damn bolt got the bag.
Fuck.
Yeah, and he was fine. But that made the newspaper
Bag
and everything.
exploded off his back.
I don't know. I can't remember what he said about that, but like he does have the newspaper article about it and shit like that. His coach saw it. I was like, God damn, get in here!
Dude, that's crazy.
It's fucking crazy.
I bet he got laid after that.
Oh yeah,
It's probably like, dude, I
whole
got
lot.
struck by lightning.
Get some sweet lightning.
Here's the
pussy.
newspaper article. He pops it out of his wallet.
He should still have that around. Yeah. Just so you know, sex with me is electrifying.
Yeah. No, but I had this one time where I remember I was sitting downstairs, and I was like not here at my house I was growing up at, and I was just watching some TV at fucking 3 o'clock in the morning. This was just the first time, and a lightning bolt struck right outside the fucking
Hold on
house.
a minute. I don't believe you. It was 3 a.m. You were just watching TV. You were beating off in your parents' basement.
I was
Don't lie to me.
No. I don't know what the fuck. I was probably watching Adult Swim.
All right.
Might have had my dick out at some point that night, but
Fair enough.
lightning struck outside, and it was the brightest fucking thing ever. And it was so. I just only know it was so close because it was so fucking loud.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was pretty close. I didn't see where it hit.
Yeah, it's not like you hear something and you see something. It's all
so
at once.
fucking loud.
Dang,
But
you almost got struck by
But there was like
lightning in your
another.
house.
It might have been, could have been, but like it was just like so fucking loud. Immediately, it was the scariest fucking thing ever. But there was like another time I was getting a hotel, and we were on the last floor, and a lightning bolt
To
struck.
masturbate in?
Yeah, I was masturbating in the hall, and this lightning bolt went over the building, close enough where my hair all stuck up, and it
What?
hit the building next door.
Cool, dude.
That was crazy shit. I was masturbating the whole time.
I didn't even
Anyways.
stop when all my pubic hair stood straight up.
Yeah, all my pubic hair
Untangled
stuck
for just
straight
an
up.
instant.
Just weird, crazy shit.
Ah, fuck.
Struck.
All right, that's a podcast, right?
Yeah,
you
that's
got
good.
stuff to do.
We
Let's
can
get a
edit that.
picture.
Yeah, let's
Dude,
get a
thank
picture.
you so much for coming on. I had
Thank
a lot
you
of
guys.
fun
I
talking
really
to you.
appreciate it, man. You guys are fantastic. Thanks a lot, and this is a great time.
I hope to God that I get a chance to come out and see you do comedy, and all the other comedians that we've had on, all the comedians that we're going to continue to have on.
If you see a comedy show going on in Cincinnati, I mean, chances are there's going to be something in there you're going to like. I mean, we've got a lot of good people out there working right now.
And
Yeah.
Chris doesn't have any fucking t-shirts, but Bastard Sermon listeners, go just hit him up.
Hit
Just
him up.
start
He'll get
asking
one.
him for merch. He'll print them if you ask for them, I'm sure. I'm positive of it.
Come
in
see
fact.
a show, give your boy a hug.
Yeah, give
him
him
a
a hug.
That's right.
You can
Follow me on Instagram.
wear
You'd be
those
cool with that if
armpit
someone
stains
randomly
on
gave
your
you a hug?
shoulder forever.
Sure. Yeah. Follow me on Instagram first so I know it's coming.
Oh yeah, he followed me.
Just shock him with a hug, all right? He's had enough lightning in his life.
Thanks again for coming out. Yeah, pretty much. Make sure to check out our subreddit, r/the Bastard Sermon. Go to our YouTube, The Bastard Sermon. What else? Merch. Buy some
buy
merch.
some t-shirts. Whenever we get to Danny Babcock Designs, we're going to put them out. Let you guys vote on whichever you like the best. That'll be the first shirt we print up. And then we're gonna have we're having a live show that we're doing
September
this week.
13th at the Pike Tattoo Company. If you want to come on out, see me, Luke, and Mansfield come out and
I
just
won't
talk
be
to some
there.
people.
I'm sorry in advance. I'm
Be some
sure
good
everyone
times.
cares so much that I won't be there.
It's going to
Sure,
be
it's
a
real issue
nonsense
for everyone.
directed podcast, I'm sure, the whole time. It's going to be nonsense.
They're gonna do.
It's going to be a good fucking time.
They're gonna do what we did last year. You just pull
Yeah.
people out of line, talk to strangers. Hopefully there'll be some fucking cool people with a guitar that want to play music again. Random stories. We'll meet all kinds of cool people. It'll be a fucking great time. Go out to the Pike Tattoo Company. Get a tattoo that day on Friday, September 13th, and go and hang out with Patrick and Luke. Will this even be the
let's go have fun.
That won't even be out. By
Let's
the
be
time
weird
that
as fuck. Let's get weird as fuck with it.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. Thank you so much,
a lot.
Chris, a million
Thank you.
times.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Big cheese.